Now we going energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going.
It's Tuesday night, Forza Motorsport Spec Racing here live on Twitch TV. Let's get it going. AMS Storm now here on lap number 34 of 34, jumps into the top spot. And here comes Maverick now, going to make a run to the inside on Drex, perhaps missing his mark. Ladies and gentlemen, race fans all around the globe, welcome to X-Venture here live on a Tuesday evening for the Forza Spec Racing Series Season 38 finale. Yes, it all has come to a head here in week number 5 of racing with RZ and McQueen sitting atop the leaderboard, and that's where he will be when it is all said and done with this thing. Oh my gosh, we got the pit alarm chirping already. I'll get to that just in a moment here. But yes, RZ and McQueen has locked up the Season 38 championship. That makes it back-to-back Season 37, Season 38. What vehicle will he select for Season 39? And will he be out on the track about 4 weeks from tonight for the start of that season? I'm Dustin Moore, and thrilled, as always, to be bringing the action to you live here on Twitch, but then also for those of you who may be watching this on demand here on Twitch or perhaps over on YouTube. I'm thrilled because, well, it's week 5, and it's sad to see the season come to an end, but it's always nice to kind of have this last race to see all the drivers put it on the line, especially when the championship's already been won. Yeah, no, that's not gonna give us like riveting action all the way to the checkered flag, but it still will be fascinating to watch who finishes where. And just because we have a champion already, that doesn't mean all the other drivers don't have something to fight for. They most certainly do. The higher up on the leaderboard they are, I'm sure they'll be happy with that, taking that momentum into season number 39 to make the most of it. All right, let's see. We've got a lot of folks here who are here in the chat. It's Mike Tron Gaming is here saying, let's go. Slow Motion Fire is here. We've got Virus Thoughts. We've got Crazy Ass 7290. We've got Unironically Average, an unironically average spotting here in the broadcast tonight. Thank you so much for finding your way back on over to X-Venture here. And for saying hi unironically. Love to see your virtual face, I guess, the gamer tag or the Twitch tag that you have there. That's awesome. Brings back a lot of great memories. In particular, we were talking about this a couple of nights ago, the 2.5 hours of the Nürburgring with you, T-Phrase, and Frozen Toes 24. That was such a wonderful broadcast. Thank you so much for finding your way back over. And then we have Weisenmitten here as well. Who am I missing? I think I already said Virus Thoughts. And then Zane Taylor, Mistress Lori, and Sheriff Epics. Thank you so much for the follows. And carry out, we'll get you your your proper sub alert here once we get into the racing action, or at least the qualifying session. By the way, there's a look at the map. For all of you who were subscribed leading up to tonight's event and completed the form, and there were 2 people who submitted, and I don't know if they submitted as trolls or what, but we did have 2 folks who submitted. However, they didn't provide their Twitch name, so therefore I couldn't verify whether or not they were actual subscribers. You'll notice there we've got a couple of submissions by DWM Frog. That's okay. We'll roll with that, and then everybody else who's participated all the way from Roster Stream, who's going to be there at turn number 1, just named the corner after himself, and then to turn 18 with Jesse Robinson, named by Crazy Ass 7290. And we'll talk about each of those corners, or at least I'll make reference to them as we get around the track here. Drivers are all readied up. There's 21 of them in the lobby, so just a couple of drivers shy of a full lobby here this evening. And any moment now, I'm guessing we'll get the alert here. Yep, sure enough, there it is. Let's go ahead, hop into the racing action as Slow Motion Fire tells us it is getting underway. Alrighty, and let's see here. Carry out. There you go. Tier 1 for 11 months. 1 month shy of that 1 full year mark. How about that? Love to see it. Roster Stream says, got my corner. You most certainly do. Turn 1. You've claimed it. You got it. And, yeah, it was something different we did this year. Whoa. Hang tight. We got a driver who's pulling off to the side already. That's going to be Toya Sama 420 joining the Forza Spec Racing Series for the first time. And here we go. Cratrium, second off the line, but will be the first to lead them into turn number 1, that being Roster Stream corner. And we're going to go ahead and name all of them right here out the chute. And submissions are now closed for those of you who cast some of your executables. Thank you so much for participating in the predictor. Here comes Cratrium through turn 3. That's Fear's Bumper Bend. Fear's Bumper Bend, yeah. We'll see if Fear makes it a bumper bend for anybody else out there on the track. Hopefully not, but you never know. And now Cratrium coming through the squigglies up to turn number 6. It's going to be the Wiggly Ghibli, named by Ghibli Giblets. And by the way, turn 3, Fear's Bumper Bend was named by Joe Beardy. Joe Beardy actually coming in with a Tier 2 subscription, so not only has a corner named after his pick, but also the pit lane, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. Out of turn number 9, it's the Avery Crawl there from DWM Frog, heading toward turn number 10. That's going to be carry-out corner. The very tricky left-hander, and actually he's already gone through it. Now out of turn 11, Superhero Everett, and then Nothing's Hotter Than a Cougar Racing there, named by Slow Motion Fire, turn number 12, making the charge down the back straightaway toward turn number 13. That's going to be named after Forza Comp GG, and it'll be named Forza Comp GG. Cratrium goes in, and very quickly there into turn number 14. That's going to be Susie Q. Susie Q, also by DWM Frog. And then coming up to turn number 16 here in just a bit, that'll be Grogu Groves, named by Pedantic Squirrel. That'll be followed by Barney's Barbecue and Beans Bend. Enraged Barney with that one. And then up to the 18th and final corner out here on the track, that's Jesse Robinson, named by Crazy As 7290. Cratrium's going to be the first one across the line, clocking in at a, wait for it, a 2 minutes and 1/10 of a second. Let's jump back a little bit here. Let's go to Virus Thoughts here. Virus Thoughts out on the track. And now across the line, Floofy has triggered with a 1:59.121. That'll be good enough for pole, at least on this standing start out lap. We got 2 flying laps to see if anybody else is going to be able to claim the top spot. Who do we have out here tonight? Well, we've got SGR Floofy, Cratrium, Fear the Fun, Slipstream, Jacob T, BOED, DOR Carryout, Food Tang, Slow Motion Fire, Chaos Fox, Virus Thoughts, Toyo Sama 420, Sprizows, Kuda, Joe Beardy, Savage Reaper, Barf Monkey, OK Jason Fox D, or Fox Jason D, LS Barney, RZM McQueen, and Grim. 20 drivers of the 23 spots available. Somebody seems to be missing. I thought we had 21 in the lobby. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure of it. Pretty sure of it. Roster Steam says, I got my corner. And again, two of somebody submitted names, but you didn't provide your Twitch tag in the appropriate text box, and as such, I couldn't verify who you were, and you don't have your corner. We'll do this again in Season 39, though. So anybody who's a sub through Season 39, coming up in about 4 weeks' time, you can do the same thing. We'll have a form, complete that form, and then you'll be able to name any corner out on the track. We don't know what track that's going to be. We don't even know what vehicle that's going to be. It's going to be RZM McQueen who's going to decide that for us. Let's go ahead and jump over to RZM McQueen now. He's got the first and quickest time out on the track, a 1:56.073 in the Chonk 360 Challenge Stradale. That Ferrari, that 2003 Ferrari 360, it's an A700 Performance Index here in Forza Motorsport 7. 438 horsepower, 294 foot-pounds of torque, 2,864 pounds of vehicle curb weight. Out of turn number 15, now up to 16 to Grogu Groves is RZM McQueen. Roster Steam rooting on Virus says, let's go. Corn on to Cobb. And Sheriff Epic's also in here rooting on Virus. I don't know who that is, just sitting there on the line. And now RZM McQueen has topped his first qualifying time. It's down to a 154.955. SGR Floofy. Let's go to Floofy. Love the paint job on this thing. Now coming up to turn 11, Superhero Everett. DWM Frog with that one. Then Nothing's Hotter Than a Cougar Racing. And out and off goes SGR Floofy past the other pit lane that's out here at Virginia International Raceway. However, I don't think that turn 10 has it set up for use on any of the variations of track out here. I could be wrong, but I don't think they do. Our pit lane, by the way, is named Beardy's Beer Garden Beer Break. There by Joe Beardy, naming that one. In case you couldn't make it out with all the beer references. Joe Beardy. Joe Beardy, the only other driver, apart from RZM McQueen, to win a race here in season number 38. Did so out at the Brickyard. Now across the line goes Floofy. Not going to be able to top McQueen's time. McQueen now coming up to Forza Comp GG corner. Turn 13, then Susie Q, turn 14. You got to be 19th or higher or you're disowned, says. Wow. That's some parenting right there. You got to be 19th or higher or you're out. You're out. And now across the line comes RZM McQueen. 154.955. That's still going to be tops here. At least. Oh, and we've got a car. That's Cratrium. Well done. A driver managing to flip the 360 Challenge Stradale. Give that man an extra 10 points. Let's see. For those of you, let's see. We got 97% of you saying that there's only going to be 0 to 3 drivers who qualify with a dirtied lap. There's only a couple of you who have said, no, it'll be 4 or more. And we're about to find out as we jump out of the lobby off the racetrack into the lobby, and we'll take a look at those post-qualifying results. Was that Grim who never left the line? Grim never leaving the line. Well, actually, that's going to be 4. That's technically going to be 4, folks. I don't know how else to put this except for Audrex was on the track and he didn't qualify. And therefore, that equals 4 dirty laps. Cratrim with a 156.073. SGR Chaos Fox with a 158.9. Let me go ahead and turn off the audio here. A 155.407 for Floofy. Foontang with a 202.061. Carryout with a 157.990. Slow Motion Fire ticking in. Not able to get a sub 2-minute time with a 2 minutes 0.5. That's 0.5 of a second. Slipstream with a 157.541. A 158 there for Jacob T. BOED. Fear the Fun with a 157.829. Sprazales a 158.508. 157 for Joe Beardy. Barf Monkey with a 157.378. RZM McQueen with that pole setting 154.955. Who will he have with him on row number 1? Is it going to be Floofy? I think so, with a 155. Then it's all the way down here where we finally find our first dirtied lap drivers. It's Cuda93 with a 159 dirtied. 211 dirtied there for Virus Dots. Ellis Barney with a 158.505. 2 minutes and 1/10 there for OK Fox Jason D. Fox Jason D's got a couple of letters, either a team tag or he just wanted to throw the OK out in front. it's gonna trip me up here throughout the night. Savage Reaper with a dirty 203.035, a 157.6 there for Toyo Osama, who's joining the Forza Spec Racing Series for the first time and doing so in the season 38 finale. For him or her, hopefully gonna set up for a great entry into season number 39. Of course, everybody starts with a clean slate, 0 points, but great opportunity to get in here, get used to the format, and be ready for the next season. A 207 for Grim, and then Audrex with Otts all the way across the board, and a DNF. And so with that, congrats to those of you who said 4 or more. I'm giving it to you. Let's throw another prediction in there, and then we'll see if there's anybody who's willing to chat in our driver's spotlight this evening. Let's go with Will Arzium McQueen. Pick up his what would this be? This would be his 8th victory this season. I can't do that. Will Arzium McQueen get the win? It was too many words. It was too many characters. Will Arzium McQueen get the win? The answers are yes or no, and I'm going to give you a whopping 30 minutes, the most I can possibly give you in a Twitch predictor. There you go, 30 minutes. Will Arzium McQueen win and pick up his 8th victory here in season 38? How about that? Just one shy, all because of the Brickyard. And there, again, is a reminder of where the standings are as of right now. I was about to say Nitro Flex, but Nitro Fex, thank you so much. Oh, is it Nitro FX? I bet that's what it is. Nitro FX, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the broadcast. Great to have you here. Nitro saying, let's go, Russell. Let's go. Chaos Fox. Why do I feel like Chaos Fox did not qualify? Like, he could still race, but why do I feel like I didn't see Chaos Fox out on the track for qualifying? He did. 158.904. Yep. Disregard me. I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, let's go back to that track map there. Again, for all of the subscribers, and this isn't all of them. These are just the folks who took the time to fill out the form, the Google form that I had, and said, hey, yeah, I want to name a corner all the way from turn 1, Rosder Stream. You got Wiggly Ghibli there in turn number 6. That's not before turn 3, which is named by Joe Beardy Fears Bumper Bend. Turn 9, the Avery Crawl. Turn 10, Carry Out Corner. Turn 11, Superhero Everett. Turn 12 is Nothing Hotter Than a Cougar. Nothing's hotter than a Cougar Racing. Forza Comp GG. There for turn number 13. Turn 14 is Susie Q. Turn 16 is Grogu Groves. And then turn 17, Barney Barbecue and Beans Bin, with Jesse Robinson rounding things out there in turn number 18. Let's go ahead and bring into the driver's spotlight here. We've got DUR Carryout. Let me see. Let me get your qualifying time here from the leaderboard of 157.9. Are you pretty satisfied with that?
Oh, no. It was horrible.
Well, I mean, you were able to get a clean lap and a sub 158, which seemed to be about the average. So you're doing better than average, yeah. But what were you aiming for?
My normal laps, I've been able to get down to a 156.6. So it was a really, really, really slow qualifying.
Fair enough. Slow qualifying. I would take that time and I would be pretty darn happy with it. But of course, everybody has their own expectations of their performance. So that just means that you're going to have to work yourself through the grid a little bit, a couple of rows of traffic. How has it been in, I don't know if you've done any practice with the guys and gals of FM4 here. How is it trying to make passing maneuvers happen here at VIR?
Passing's not really that bad if you do it in the right spots. If you try to do it in the wrong spots, it can be catastrophic.
The whole first half of Virginia International Raceway from turn 1 to turn 11 is pretty much a complex series of corners. So is it on the back half that you would be looking to make passes, or are you daring through those corners?
No, around back half, turn 11, 12, somewhere right in there, and then the last corner or so coming onto the where the start-finish line is. Those are pretty good places. Turn 1 is a pretty good place to pass. Anywhere else is a little bit iffy.
Very good. And for the vehicle here, the 360 Challenge Stradale, all throughout season number 38, Sport Tire Compound. We haven't seen the tires become an issue in any one of the races. I don't suspect that to be a case here out at VIR. Am I right?
No, the tires won't be an issue. Fuel might be a little later on in the race, but I'm not too sure. I haven't done that many laps on here or at VIR. I think the most I've done is like 20-something, and I really wasn't paying attention to the fuel. Okay. So we'll have to figure out where the pit stop's going to be, if we have to make one.
Well, I imagine you're going to have to make one. I love it when driving, because that's a man of my own heart right there. When you say, hey, I'll just see when I have to pit. Like, that's me. Like, I'm not doing any extensive testing before a race. It's just kind of like, yeah, when the light goes off, then I know I need to go in and pit. Carry out, thank you so much for jumping into the driver's spotlight here tonight. Also, thanks for the support of the channel. Anything you want to say before the race here? Any words for your fellow competitors out there on the track?
Good luck.
I like it. Keeping it simple. Good luck is all Carry Out has to say for the other 20 or so drivers that are out there on the track. All right, Joe Beardy, how about this? Only the only other driver who is not named RZM McQueen to win a race here in season 38. You did it out at the Brickyard back in week number 2. Can you make it happen at VIR?
Oh, that's highly unlikely. But, I mean, if you go with the old motto, if you can't win, wreck somebody who can. I mean, the possibilities are endless. So.
I was talking with Carryout just now, who said it's not too bad out here at VIR in terms of making passes. I don't know. I've always had this, I guess, a poor experience where just all of the cornering, high-speed cornering out here has the cars going all which ways on the track. Like, predicting where your opponent is going to be, while not impossible, is very difficult. Some folks will really push the issue and lose a little bit of traction, and they slide across the track. So how about you? I mean, how are you going to safely navigate around the course, especially knowing that maybe you've got a little bit more of a, I don't know, maybe a slight advantage that you're on an actual steering wheel?
Man, it's kind of hard to say. There's a few passing zones that are out there, but I mean, the obvious ones are clearly the straightaways if you can get a good run, but there's a few spots in the corners where I think if you can set people up, you can, try to, cross back underneath of them. You'll definitely lose time. It's probably going to be a half a second to a second slower to set someone up in the spot. So I think a lot of the race is going to be, if you're in a race situation, you're going to have to follow someone, wait till you can find a good spot to make a pass. Otherwise, I think you'll end up bringing a lot of the traffic behind you and catching you in that sense. So I think a lot of it's just going to have to be making smart passes. Otherwise, you might end up stacking the field up, and then you might have a race with, say, 4 or 5 guys instead of just one guy, and that's something I know I definitely don't want to get stuck into, is having to race multiple guys. That's where it gets a little iffy, especially on the wheel too. So
you've got a couple of things named for you out here on the track thanks to your Tier 2 subscription. You got Fears Bumper Ben there, turn number 3 you named. I won't ask about that now. Maybe we'll talk about it later. But how about Beardy's Beer Garden Beer Break? That's the name of pit lane. When do you expect to go in?
I think my strategy is going to be for an early pit strategy. Get my beer break out of the way early, and then try to finish with limited amount of fuel at the end. I'm hoping, maybe if anybody has some tangle ups mid-race, I can make my passes when a lot of people are in the pit. So I have a good qualifying position, thankfully. So I think that's going to be my goal, is at least see if I can get out front, stay out front, get a big enough gap to where I can then pit, and then, try to make the rest of my passes in the pit lane when everyone's out there and get some clear track is hopefully my goal. But you never know. Just like F1, strategies can change mid-race. So guess we're going to find out.
Very, very true. Joe Beardy, best of luck to you here at VIR.
Thanks, Dust.
All right, there we go. All the drivers in the driver's spotlight. We've got 21 of them readied up on the grid. As soon as Joe Beardy has readied up, and then it looks like maybe Virus Thoughts just waiting for a ready signal from him, and then we'll be going racing here. It's going to be 36 laps. 36 laps around the Virginia International Raceway. There again is are all the corners that some of our subscribers have named here on Xventure. Again, if you want to be a subscriber, help the channel that much more in the future, then for season 39 we'll be doing the exact same thing. I think it's pretty fun, and it's an easy thing for us to accomplish. Another way to let the subscribers have a little bit of fun with us here on the broadcast, and we'll go ahead and put our camera here on SGR Floofy is going to be lining up opposite of RZ and McQueen on row number 1. Then it's Craytream and Barf Monkey there on row number 2. Joe Beardy Slipstream in row 3, followed by Toyo Sama 420. I'm going to be keeping an eye out on him or her, how well they perform. Obviously, finishing in the qualifying session in 7th is a pretty good start in terms of first appearance here in the Forza Spec Racing Series. Of course, that never means that it's your debut in the world of Forza Motorsport. It just means that this is the first time you've reared your head here in this series, which is great. We love to see new names, new participants, and folks that are just either willing to give stiff competition for those who are out at front, or for anybody who's like, you know what, I'm not the fastest guy or gal out on the track, but darn it, I want to learn, or at least have the experience of racing with a lot of folks out there in what Slow Motion Firing Company consider to be a bit of a beer league. Race cleanly, that's all that's asked of you, and you'll have a great time. I promise you that. Reddit.com/r/FN4. Lined up on the line as soon as RZ and McQueen there on the right side of your window pulls off, everybody else can, and here we go. Kick the tires, light the fires for the final time here in season number 38 with the 2003 Ferrari Challenge Stradale as they head into turn number 1, Rosderstein Corner. Out in front, it's going to be McQueen with Floofy back behind him in 2nd, Craytrim in 3rd, Barf Monkey in 4th. That's how they qualified. Then it's Joe Beardy, Slipstream, Barney, Toyo Sama, Fear the Fun, Carry Out in your top 10. Out of turn number 3 comes Fear's Bumper Bend, or comes the corner, Fear's Bumper Bend. There at turn number 3. Then a couple of corners up to T6 for Wiggly Jibbly. Putting some of the signage off the track. Like to see that. Get that stuff out of the way. We don't need that. Craytrim leading Barf Monkey as our top 2 have started to separate themselves from the rest of the pack here. Through the squiggly bits they come. Now out of turn 10, which is Carry Out Corner, into turn 11, Superhero Everett. Then it's turn 12, Nothing's Hotter Than a Cougar Racing, and Floofy, at least within a half a car or maybe one full car length separation between he and RZ and McQueen, trying to keep pace. Again, if RZ and McQueen wins this one, it'll be 8 races out of the 9 here in season 38, with Joe Beardy being the only other driver to secure a victory. Now up to turn number 13, Forza Comp GG. SJ Monty also with the follow. Thank you so much. Welcome to the broadcast. Great to have you. Enjoy your time. There comes Barf Monkey, a little squirrely there out of turn 14, Susie Q. Now up to Grogu Groves, named there by Pedantic Squirrel. Turn number 16 into Barney's Barbecue and Beans Bend. The alliteration on that one is strong. RZ and McQueen now with about a 5, 6, maybe even 7 car length lead here at the end of lap number 1, beginning lap 2 of 36. Up into turn 1, once again they go. Let's go ahead and drop back a little bit. Let's go to 9th position with CMD Slipstream. And the crew that he finds himself around, it's 6th. That's LS Barney, Toyo Sama in 7th, Fear the Fun in 8th. Slipstream, as I mentioned, in 9th, Carry Out in 10th with Chaos Fox trying to break into the top 10, currently driving in 11th. Let's go ahead and hop on board here with Chaos Fox. Out of turn 4. Batman 45 with the follow. Thank you so much, Batman. You're welcome. Oh, well, thank you. Into Carry Out Corner, there's some tire smoke. Look at all that grass off to the right-hand side. We had a few drivers telling us that if you want to do your best John Deere impersonation or impression, this is the place to do it here. Not that you really want to. If you accidentally happen to do so. Chaos Fox now down the back straightaway here at VIR. It's a bit of a cloudy, overcast, seemingly a muggy day out here on the circuit. Getting ready for turn 13 there, that Forza Comp GG corner. Susie Q, turn 14. What is first place price worth? Asked Batman. So the way that it works in the Forza Spec Racing Series, they don't have any funds to award you with. But instead, if you win the championship, which RZ McQueen already has at this point, you get to pick the vehicle for the next season. Because it is a spec series, they race one vehicle an entire 5-week season, 9 races in total. And so if you win the championship, you get to pick that car, and then you get all the bragging rights. Big-time bragging rights for RZ McQueen at this point. Back-to-back championships. That doesn't get done often here in the Forza Spec Racing Series. He's joined an elite club. We've gone up now to CMB Slipstream, who is still there in 9th position. And he's chasing down a couple of cars who got too wide there. That was Ellis Barney and Toyo Sama. And Fear the Fun in 6th position. FaZe Eagle 980 with the host. Thank you, FaZe Eagle. Look at that in 10th position. Carryout screaming as Chaos Fox starting to lose pace a little bit. Yeah, everything you need to know about the Forza Spec Racing Series and how to get involved. Although Season 39 details have not yet been posted, they will be here in about maybe a couple of days' time. Get signed up. It doesn't matter how competitive you are. This is a skill or a series for all skill levels. Just race clean. That's all that's asked. Otherwise, they'll give you the boot, and nobody wants to be booted. You'll regret it in the future, I promise you. You'll be like, I shouldn't have done that. It was such a fun league to be in. Kraytrim here in 4th position, who happened to get the 360 Challenge Stradale with that Portal livery up on its hood during qualifying. Riding in 4th, back behind the Barf Monkey. LS Unku says, I might come back for Season 39, depending on the car and the schedule. Nice. We love seeing the Lightspeed Esports team represented. We've got Barney here in Season 38. SGR Floofy still back behind RZ McQueen in 2nd position. Let's return now to, let's go to Toyo Sama. Again, first timer here. Got the orange number plate. They're just in front of the driver and passenger side doors. This is already good racing. I mean, it's not like wheel to wheel at this point. I think drivers are being careful. It's a long race, 36 laps. There's going to have to be, I have to imagine there's got to be a pit stop. Carryout was suggesting that it may not be necessary, but I just don't see them being able to go on a full tank of fuel. Although I do believe the 360 CS is one of those vehicles in Forza Motorsport 7 that has, oddly, a pretty sizable fuel tank. But we'll see. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and take a look here at Toyo Sama's vehicle and what the situation is. 87% in the fuel tank right now, and we're just 3.5 laps in. So I'm thinking there's going to be a pit stop in everybody's future. Folks, we still have the executable poll to weigh in and have your chance to win some executables. Executables here are used on the channel for giveaways for our raffles that we have. So the more executables you have, the more chances you have to enter those raffles. Our next raffle, I can tell you predictably here, is going to be during the Snow Runner Sub-Marathon event on March 6th. And just like that, Toyo Sama now moves up to 6th position, getting around what looked to be like Fear the Fun. Fear the Fun, who has a tendency to be a bit inconsistent, has now dropped back a spot to 8th position, finds himself wedged there in between CMB Slipstream, gives Slipstream a little bump on the back there, Carrier out right behind him. Hold on there, Fear the Fun. Bumper Bend is still a couple of corners out in front. Here it is, turn number 3. Joe Beardy naming it. Fear's Bumper Bend, he comes out of it. Everybody's unscathed, everybody's happy. Let's drop back a little bit here. Let's go to Chaos Fox in 11th position. Again, trying to break into the top 10. It's not been necessarily the best season here for Chaos Fox. Chaos Fox enters the Season 38 finale with the 10th most points at 169. back behind Fear the Fun, who has 182. Chaos Fox making the pass now, gets around on Trex, who finds himself off into the grass, and just like that, Chaos Fox now into P10. Going to have to play a little bit of defense there as Barney closes in on the back bumper, but I think he's okay right now going into turn 11, that being Superhero Everett, then into Nothing's Hotter Than a Cougar Racing, and exits, and now down the long straightaway, going to be able to put that 360 Stradale's back bumper right out in front of Barney and prevent him from making the pass here. We'll see what happens as they come up to turn 13. Well done, Chaos. You're on lap number 5. Let's go to the X-Venture Rewind. There you go. We catch the tail end of it there. Folks, thank you so much for hanging out with me here on a Tuesday evening. Hopefully it's been a good start to the week, the first full week of February. We've got a lot more fun to come here on X-Venture, even with the Forza Spec Racing Series going into its off-season. We'll talk about that here post-race. So hang out with us here for the next hour and a half or so. It's going to be a good one. We'll chat to some of our drivers here at the end, and there goes Chaos Fox, who clipped the right wheels onto the dirt, and now is going to do a little bit of a drifto through turn number 1, Rosderstein corner. Exits in P12 now as Cuda 93 starts to close in. So just like that, you can gain a couple of spots, and then you can lose them. Let's go to second position. SGR Floofy from the Scrubs Go Racing team, able to close that gap a little bit with RZM McQueen from where we last saw him. And now as they exit turn 12, they'll go 1 and 2. Floofy going to put the nose there into the slipstream and try to make the most out of it to keep right there on the heels. Weisenmitten says he held it. He did. He lost a couple of spots, did Chaos Fox, but he did hold it. And now out of turn 14, or excuse me, out of turn 13, Forza Comp GG into Susie Q, and then back down into Grogu Groves. And then Barney's Barbecue at Beans Bend as they come up toward the start-finish line. Turn 18, Jesse Bottom, Jesse Robinson. They're named by Crazy-Ass 7290. They drive past the Beardy's Beer Garden Beer Break, which maybe some folks will be stopping into at some point in the race. I actually haven't seen anybody into pit lane. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen it. Let's go to Fear the Fun now, who finds himself in 9th position. He was up as far as 6th. Now finds himself back behind Carryout. Unironically average, noticing that Funtang has gone from 16th to 21st to 14th to 16th to 15th. Yeah, I swear Funtang just does these things on purpose so he can get the Hard Charger Award. Kind of start mid-pack after qualifying, then drop all the way back, and then come back up through the field for a top 15 finish. It's like a game for him, I think. Yeah, that's totally it. Folks, if you haven't yet clicked that follow button and you're still here enjoying the content, you haven't thought about clicking away, please hit the follow button. Lets me know as the broadcaster you're enjoying your time here. We'll give you a nice little acknowledgement there at the bottom of the screen. Fear the Fun now off the track and up into the wall. I think he's going to be okay. The way that he sideswiped that guardrail, he should be okay. Yes, no damage to the car. Pretty innocuous, that one. It just is a loss of ground there as LS Barney and Audrex now come into view. He likes a fight. Yeah, he does. Virus Thoughts saying, I went into kite mode. You were swerving all over the track, eh? Let's go to the X-Venture Rewind there with Fear the Fun. Sliding it off up into the guardrail. Yep, he clipped the grass there a little bit, lost traction, and that's all it took. Here comes LS Barney. He's going to be looking to the inside here. Into turn 15, now as they hit Grogu Groves, Barney moves up to 9th. Audrex and Fear the Fun getting double pass there. And if he's not careful, he's got another one behind him. That's SGR Chaos Fox trying to gain some ground. Audrex, LS Barney, down the stretch they come, side by side, wheel to wheel. Rocker panel to rocker panel as they enter turn number 1. And they're going to stay in position. LS Barney to the low line. Audrex to the high line. Now Audrex brings it back down toward the apex. Gets on the rear bumper there of LS Barney. Now he goes ahead and does the old switcheroo. Barney, it looks like he's going to put on the block here into turn number 3. Fears bumper bend. And now into 4. It's going to be Barney out in front. Audrex in 10th. Fear the Fun in 11th. Chaos Fox just kind of spine back there in 12th position. I appreciate it, Sheriff. Thank you, thank you. I try my best after a long, hard day at work. I tell you, it's what I look forward to on Tuesdays, no question. And now Fear the Fun's going to try out the grass on the other side. Here, exiting turn 10, that's carry out corner, and that's the one that bites me every time. Now into 11 and 12. He reemerges in 11th position. Chaos Fox there, licking his chops. Thinking about where he's going to make the move. Lap number 8. As Arzia McQueen now with SGR Floofy in tow. They cross the line for the beginning of lap number 9. We return here to the battle for 10th position. It's really been one of our best ones here early on in the race. There goes LS Barney now starting to take off. Thinking, hey, if I get rid of these guys, I might be able to catch up to 8th, 9th, or 8th, 7th, 6th maybe. Possible. It's possible. Carryout is in 8th. 7th is occupied by Slipstream, and then it's the newcomer, Toyo-sama, in 6th position. Trying to see what the livery is here. It's a Civic livery, or at least the back bumper has Civic there in the license plate frame area. Now into turn number 6, the Wiggly Ghibli goes Toyo-sama all by himself underneath the Nissan bridge. On that racing island, let's see if he's going to be able to catch up with Joe Beardy, who's in 5th, Barf Monkey, who's in 4th, Craytrim in 3rd, entering turn number 11 at this point. I bet money on this race. Don't disappoint me like the it's too soon, Rosderstein. Too soon. Audrex, oh, look at that maneuver. He was flirting with the grass there, able to cut it back over. And now here comes Fear the Fun, going to give him a little bit of a love tap here through turn 12. Nothing's hotter than a Cougar Racing corner. Slow Motion Fire naming that one. Here comes Chaos Fox. Slow Motion Fire picking up that subscription here on X Venture, care of Rosderstein. Which, by the way, seems like an appropriate time to go ahead and throw the bar up there at the top of the screen. Here comes Fear the Fun into the grass, and he makes contact with Audrex. He's going to spin it around. Audrex is going to be able to carry on. Fear the Fun really had no choice. That was not on purpose. He got up into the grass, and of course, as you know, there's no braking ability in the grass. You lock those wheels up, they're just going to slide, and he had Audrex in his sights. Audrex able to continue on. Very, very fortunate there. Actually, that was LS Barney he got tangled up with. Yeah, it was. For every subscription here to the X Venture Twitch channel, I'll add 30 minutes of SnowRunner gameplay here on March 6th. It's part of the first ever X Venture Sub-Marathon. All subscriptions in the month of February count for 30 minutes of gameplay. We're up to 10.5 right now. Actually, that should be a little bit more. I can't see the number on the bar. It's a little bit too small for my my reading right now, but we were at 10.5 entering the broadcast. Looks like maybe now 11.5. Comes DOR carryout. We haven't had the camera on carryout. We talked to him in the driver's spotlight before things got kicked off after qualifying. Here comes carryout looking to possibly make a move here on slipstream for P6. Couple of minutes left here on the predictor. Use your executables. Try to win yourself some additional executables. We got a few points on the line here. 3,000 points for those of you who say that RZ and McQueen will get the win. Surprisingly, 73% of you with 8.1 thousand executables on the line say, oh, RZ and McQueen ain't winning this thing. Use those channel points. Try to rack them up. Going into our sub-marathon, I'll have some giveaways. Toyosama, a little bit of smoke there on the straightaway. Not sure what that was all about, but has the 360's nose pointed in the right direction and will carry on. Reeling in P5, which is Joe Beardy. There was another poof of smoke there. I'm not sure if that's a glitch or if... Well, there it is again. I don't know if Toyosama's got some sort of braking setup sorted out. Oh, my gosh. Hold on. I just saw like a whole slew of names drop out of the corner of my eye, and now here comes the pit alarm. Thank you, Roster Steam. We're going to let those pit alarms go by, and then I'll go through the names of folks who have just picked up a Tier 1 gift sub care of Roster Steam. I think that takes us now close to... We got to be getting close to 24 hours here. Holy smokes. Here you got fourth place, Barf Monkey. Now coming up to lap traffic. That's going to be Virus Thoughts. They're in 21st. Barf Monkey able to get around, but here comes Virus Thoughts. A little bit heavy through turn number 13. Forza Comp GG. Fortunately there, I think Barf Monkey kind of, I don't know, predicted where Virus was going. And no, he does it again. Able to bring it back out on the track. Unfortunately for Barf Monkey, he was well out of the way. Whew. That was a scary series of corners there for Barf. And now up to turn 18. Well, now out of turn 18 into turn number 1, the Rosder Steam corner is Barf Monkey. Whew, he's unclenched himself. But you know what happened there with Barf Monkey? Even though he was able to escape, that little bit of maneuvering on the track allowed Joe Beardy to close in. And so, yeah, Barf Monkey may have some company here pretty soon. And it's not just Joe Beardy there in 5th. Also Toyosama in 6th. And who was that? Somebody was off the pace there a little bit. Let's go back to that series of events there. Virus Thoughts and Barf Monkey. It's actually Barf Monkey who got off into the grass and was threatened there by oncoming traffic, but then Virus found himself mowing the lawn before taking aim inadvertently there at Barf Monkey, but Barf Monkey had the momentum to escape. All right. Let's go up to second here. SGR Floofy, and while we're there, here we go. Sheriff Epics, Zane Taylor, SG Monty, Dino Dado, Corona Vera, Hald Inc., HTM Booty Juice. Yeah, we've said that one before. Over Drift King, Cratrium, Fly In Turd, all picking up Tier 1 subscriptions, care of Roster Steam. Roster Steam, congratulations. You now have 29 gifted subs. That makes you 3rd all-time here on X-Venture. Thank you for the subscriptions. 100% of the proceeds that come my way after Twitch takes their cut goes back directly into the production of the broadcast. I kid you not. And then also into viewer raffles. Those are not possible without the support of the subscribers. So thank you so much, Roster Steam, and everybody who's got a X-Venture emblem next to their name there in chat. And for everybody else, if you can't spring for a subscription either through Prime Gaming or through the monetary purchase, completely understand. Completely understand. The very most that I ask of you, is to click that follow button. That, too, is a good sign for me. We're doing something right. Still hanging out here with Carryout, who's in 8th position, not able to catch up with Slipstream. As 1st through 6th starts to thin itself out, even SGR Floofy, who's done a commendable job at keeping pace here with RZ and McQueen, now finds himself with Grimm in 19th position, being a little bit of a hindrance here as they roll into turn 13. Grimm doing the wise thing. Very well done. Take note, anybody who's looking to join a series and maybe you don't have enough experience under your belt, but still you want to get involved, you're more than welcome to. But take note what Grimm did there by going wide into turn 13, giving Floofy the inside line and going onto the brakes a little bit early so as not to make a hassle out of it for Floofy. That's textbook. That's textbook right there. That's how you do it. Here comes Floofy now into Roster Steam corner. 33 hours of Snow Runner. Good luck, says Batman. I know I haven't done a 24-hour broadcast since the 24 hours of Daytona. I think the beauty of playing a game for 24 hours versus commentating an endurance race is that I don't have to be so chatty the entire time. I can let the gameplay do the talking every once in a while, and unlike the commentary role where it's expected that you talk. Here comes Chaos Fox back out of the top 10 in 11th. Has Jacob T. B-O-E-D in 12th. And then you got Barney there in 13th. Fu-Tang in 14th. Doing his thing. Back up into the top 15 goes Fu-Tang. See if he can't strive for top 10. Craytrim now in 3rd place, entering turn 11. Superhero Everett able to get round one of the back markers. Who was that? That was... Can't see enough far behind. That's going to be Savage Reaper there in 20th position. A nice big bundle of cars here from Jacob T. Actually, SGR Chaos Fox all the way through 12th, 13th, 14th, which is occupied by Fu-Tang. Let's go to Fu-Tang and go ahead and ride on board for a lap around VIR. Fu-Tang got the back end out coming out of Barney's Barbecue and Beans Bend. Able to make the recovery, but not before he loses ground there with Jacob T. B-O-E-D out in front of him in 13th position. That means that 12th of Barney and Chaos Fox, they start to thin the herd out here through the 4 drivers that are vying for P12. Actually, P11, there goes Fear the Fun. Off into the grass, and you can see the back end The back tires peeling out as he tries to make the recovery pretty quickly there and gets out in front of, who is that, Audrex back there? Funtang? Fear the Fun now dropping back to 14th position. Weisenmitten says, wow, really hitting that rev limiter. Yeah, actually they're not. And we talked about this a little bit in our last broadcast where Forza just has this weird bug, and it's existed in the franchise's, all throughout the franchise's history. They've not fixed it for one reason or another, and they're not really banging up against the rev limiter like that. It's just an audio bug from our spectate view. Let's go back to Fear the Fun. Getting off the track once again, coming out of turn 5, heading into turn 6, the Wiggly Ghibli. And then you see him try to make his recovery there out in front of Funtang. Here comes Chaos Fox, now up to 10th once again. Let's see if he can hold on to it this time. Out of turn 17, that's that Barney's Barbecue and Beans bend past the Beardy's Beer Garden Beer Break pit lane. Now up to turn 18, Jesse Robinson. Named by Crazy Ass 7290. Up to turn 1, Rosner Steam Corner. LS Barney able to put the block there on Jacob T. And yes, Chaos Fox sporting the Ridge Racer-like livery. Fictional companies, that was the theme of Season 38. So if you get involved in Season 39, just know that the organizers will throw out a theme and they encourage you to participate. You don't absolutely necessarily have to. They're not going to keep you from racing if you don't. But ideally, adhere to the theme as we go into a... Oh my gosh, that was a pretty big screen of death there. It was Virus Thoughts, who is now out of the race very early on in this one. And so where there were 22, there are now 21. Or maybe it's 20. I think it is 20. Yep. Fear the Fun. We see there in 13th. Look at that. Isn't that some bump draft in there? Jacob T. right up onto the back bumper of the Lightspeed Esports team driver, LS Barney. Sir Hans Wolf, thank you for the follow. Welcome aboard. Where am I from? I am from all over the place. Southern California, lived in Arizona, lived in Virginia, now reside in South Central Texas, lived in Germany for a little bit, New Mexico. How about you, Batman? Gotham City. I get it. I shouldn't even ask. Here comes Funtang now out of roster steam. As we got a nice pack forming once again. I mean, the mid pack is always where you're going to find some of the closest racing. It looked like it was going to disband there for a little bit, but now they're getting the band back together. Yeah, out of turn 3. And then 4. Virus Thought says, I'm trying to get back ASAP. Yeah, unfortunately, Virus, there's no way to get back in it unless they decide to go ahead and stop the race. Which I don't know. I don't have any comms with the race organizers, so I don't know if they're going to attempt that. Here comes Funtang, having all kinds of trouble coming out of turn 10, carry out corner. His trouble started back there in turn 9 at the Avery Crawl. And now into turn 11 and 12. He's going to be able to hold off Kuda for now. Where is your cave, Batman? Where is it? Good old Indiana in the middle of the cornfield. All right. Field of Dreams, right? Wasn't that in Indiana? Maybe? I don't know. Let's go to Fear the Fun in 13th position. As we see a little bit of smoke there, that's going to be coming out of the back tires of LS Barney. He slides it through turn number 17 a little bit. Oh, Iowa. Yeah, Iowa. Yep. All right, folks, let's take this opportunity here on lap number 18 of 36 to run through the field. It's going to be RZM McQueen, who has won 7 of 8 races so far here in season 38, has already locked up the championship, trying to make it 8 of 9, with Joe Beardy being the only other driver here this season to pick up a victory, followed by SGR Floofy, and SGR Floofy is hanging close. He hasn't been able to get rid of him yet, has RZM McQueen. Then it's Cratrum in third, all by himself on a huge racing island. Huge. Joe Beardy in 4th. Toyo Sama has moved up to 5th position. Slipstream in 6th. Carryout in 7th. Barf Monkey in 8th. Then it's Audrex dealing with lap traffic now as they come through the Avery Crawl. He's in 9th. LS Barney in 10th. Chaos Fox in 11th. Jacob T. BOED there in 12th position. Fear the Fun all over the place. He's now in 13th. 14th is Kuda 93. Then 15th is Funtang, followed by Sprizow's Slow Motion Fire. OK Fox Jason D in 18th position, who looks to be in the Beardy's Beer Garden Beer Break pit lane. Then it's Grim in 19th, Savage Reaper 89 in 20th position. Virus Thoughts, our sole driver to be DNF'd at this point in the race. Let's go ahead with the little battle that we have back here for 16th. It's going to be Slow Motion Fire in 17th, trying to get around Sprizow's. Yeah, you got the Indy 500. There you go. And the Indianapolis Pacers and the Indianapolis Colts. What is the fuel situation for the leader? Good question. Actually, let's stay right here. We'll check it on Slow Motion Fire's car. 36% in the fuel tank. So yes, I'm going to go with 100% certainty here. They are going to need a pit stop. 36% of fuel is not going to be able to hold you for another, I don't know, what is it, 18 laps or so? Ain't going to do it. Ain't going to do it. Into turn 3, Fear's Bumper Bend. We go to T10, P10. Jacob T. BOED. He's got Chaos Fox back behind him, and Fear himself there in 13th. As many times as we've seen Fear the Fun off the track, his ability to come back is a testament to his skill, his speed. If he could just chain a lap after lap after lap together and be consistent, Fear the Fun might be in a much higher position at this point. Look at that. Barf Monkey, or actually that's Grim, getting 2 wheels off the ground, the passenger side tires, coming up out of turn, I think that was turn 7 or 8, and then into the Avery Crawl. Here they come. 2 wide. It's Jacob T. Make that 3 wide. Jacob T to the middle line. Grim on the outside. Fear the Fun on the low line. And like that, Jacob T is going to move up to 10th. Fear the Fun in 11th still. Chaos Fox in 12th. Grim as a back marker. He was just there to make things interesting, and oh, did he ever. He was like the referee in a title fight, getting in between the two fighters that are Jacob T and Fear the Fun, and separated them only momentarily before they're back at it with a few jabs. And now here they go. Fear the Fun, Jacob T. They're going to be side by side out of turn 16. Grogu Groves, and Fear the Fun gets off into the grass again. He's able to make the recovery here at Barney's Barbecue and Beans Bend, and now up toward the start-finish line for the beginning of lap number 20. Holy smokes. Ovation says, I've been driving, but this commentary is thumbs up. Well, thank you. Get back to driving, though. I appreciate that. Watching and listening. Well, maybe not so much watching, but listening as he gets around the track and possibly posting up there while in pit lane. And now, oh, gosh, here we go with the dreaded black screen once again. We see Jacob in 10th. Fear the Fun and Chaos Fox, they're still in the mix. Who did we lose? Was that Grim? No, Grim is still out on the track. Who did we lose? How long are the pit stops? If I were to guesstimate, I think they're maybe right around 35 or 40 seconds. And of course, how many spots you lose is all really dependent on who you have around you or where you are on the track. Savage Reaper 89 is going to be the other victim here of the DNF. Now 28, make that 19 drivers of the 21 who started left out on the track. Let's go back up to second here. SGR Floofy, like a champ here, holding on to the, at least keeping RZ and McQueen within view. And let's go back to that 3 wide situation just about a half a lap ago there. Grim, Jacob T, and Fear the Fun going into turn 11. Superhero Everett, and nothing's hotter than a Cougar Racing T12. Did I catch it? Oh, maybe I didn't catch it. Craytrim doesn't even know anybody else exists on the racetrack. 1 is the most loneliest number, or in this case, 3. P3. As he comes out of carryout corner, now into T11. Joe Beardy kind of running solo right now. Toyo Sama looking to get the surprise appearance of the race trophy. Now also out of carryout corner in P5. Barf Monkey has DUR carryout back behind him. It's a battle for 7th. Chaos Fox says, pit stop. Okay, bye now. Chaos Fox doing pretty good. Pretty good. I know he's probably thinking, hey, I should be further up. Currently finds himself running in 14th after the pit stop. Now, depending on who else is either pitted or not pitted around him, could grab a couple of spots next time by the start-finish line. And it looked like we had maybe a driver turned around there in the Wiggly Ghibli. We'll keep our camera here, though, with carryout as they go into Forza Comp GG. Then it's Susie Q. Turn 14. Yeah, crazy ass virus has DNF'd, unfortunately, and I don't think, based on the pace of the race right now, I don't think the officials are going to stop it for a restart at this juncture. Maybe if there's a more tragic series like multiple disconnects a little bit later on, maybe then they'll do a restart. But right now it looks like we're going to go green all the way to lap 36. Here comes carryout now through the Rosder Steam corner, trying to catch back up with Barf Monkey. He's lost ground. Let's go to Fear the Fun, who's now exiting turn 17. He's got 20% left in the fuel tank, 34% tire degradation on the front tires. I hardly doubt they are feeling that. They probably still have close to optimal grip in the tires. And now to Barf Monkey once again here in 7th. We had some fun with this one. Dirt Kicking Fridays. I played Dirt Rally 2.0 for the first time ever. Actually, the first Dirt Rally game that I've ever played. I've not played the first one, and now I've just jumped into the second one this past Friday. Join me again here this Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, as we go rally racing. We're going to finish up one championship, start another. I opted for the Ford Escort. And I think right now I sit like 25th or so on the overall standing. So not doing so hot. However, it's my first championship run. It's my first, not even just my first championship, but my first time playing the game. So give me a little bit of a break, but come watch the fun here. Again, this Friday, Dirt Kicking Fridays, 6 p.m. Eastern. Into turn 11, Superhero Everett. It's RZ McQueen, SGR Floofy, 1 and 2 respectively. And now as drivers start to go into pit lane, things are really starting to thin out here. Here comes Slipstream, who now drops back to P9. Actually, well, nope. OK Fox Jason D is a lap down. And so P9 is where Slipstream will find himself here on lap 23. For those of you, 74% of you who said that RC and McQueen was not going to win the race, how do you feel right now? It's still early. There's still a lot of racing to go. Anything can happen, but how are you feeling? You going to get those executables back? And it looks like RZ and McQueen heads into pit lane. Yes, he does. And he has like the very first stall. And SGR Floofy is going to pick up first only momentarily there just because of where the pit stalls are. And RZ and McQueen now back out in front as they make the long trek down the VIR pit lane. Beardy's Beer Garden beer break. And look at this. Here comes Cratrium. Cratrium goes screaming past Floofy. He's going to be in P2 for a short stint here. What is Cratrium's situation? Cratrium has 15% left in the tank, so he is going to have to stop. So this will be a short-lived situation here for Cratrium. However, you've got to race like a madman, even though you know you're going to give up position, because the faster you could drive right now, that's going to ensure that you come out of pit lane as close to second as possible to have a shot at this thing. I mean, it's very feasible that Cratrium's going to come away with a top 3 finish, possibly P3, but depending on how well he could drive it here for the next lap or two, he might actually be able to challenge for P2. Now with these pit stops happening, it's RZ McQueen, still our leader, with SGR Floofy there in third, soon to be in P2. Cratrium in second right now. And then you've got to look well far back to find Barf Monkey in fourth position. Joe Beardy has moved up to fifth. Carryout is in sixth. Audrex in seventh. Toyo Sama has dropped back to eighth position. Again, this could be because of the pit strategy. And so if we look at Toyo Sama, yep, sure enough, has 98% in the fuel tank, which means it was a recent stop. And so Toyo Sama might be making his way back up through the field here soon enough. Audrex in seventh position. He's got 13% in the tank, so that's going to be at least one spot there for Toya. And then Carryout in sixth. He too has yet to go in, finds himself with 15% in the fuel tank. Told us before the race got started that I'll go in when the fuel tank requires it, and not a moment sooner. Joe Beardy in fifth now, approaching T13 Forza Comp GG corner. He has made a pit stop, 97% in the fuel tank. And then Barf Monkey, who's up in fourth, has 63. Barf Monkey with the early pit strategy might pay off. There you see Grim in 19th position. Floofy has now gotten around Cratrium for P2, and that's before Cratrium even went into pit lane. So now Floofy going to do what he can here in the remaining 11, make that 12 laps, or 11 and a half really, to see if he can't give McQueen a run for his money here in what is the last race of season 39 in the 438 horsepower 2003 Ferrari Challenge Stradale, the 360 model. A great car. A beaut. One of my favorite in the Forza franchise, by far. Such an exceptional vehicle. It was a unicorn car for so many iterations of Forza Motorsport, which made it hard to get. If you did all the extra things within the community, you could get one from one of the developers. And a fun car at that, even in its stock form. such a blast to drive. And now Cratrium ducks into the Beardy's Beer Garden beer break. Going to get himself a sip and then exit the pit box and get back out on the track on lap 26. Let's go to Toyosama here in 8th. Will he be able to get around Audrex here? And will Audrex go into the pit lane next time by? Yes, Reaper DNF. Is there a way we can hear what the drivers are thinking about the race? Batman, yes. I talked to drivers before the race and after the race. I used to do kind of drop-ins during the racing action. However, sometimes that can be annoying for the drivers. And other times it can be a little bit difficult for me to oh, there goes Audrex. Yeah, I don't know what kind of prank that was there for Toyosama, who's already gone into pit lane. I mean, he wasn't throwing Toyo off any, but Audrex swung it out wide and then roped it back in for the pit lane entry. And so Audrex will get topped off with fuel and a new set of tires. The way things work here in Forza Motorsport 7, if you are not familiar, is a pit stop gets you everything. Unfortunately, there's no strategy. There's not been any pit strategy in the Forza Motorsport franchise up to this point. Now, Forza Motorsport coming out at some point. We don't have any details when, but fingers crossed that there might be a little bit more to pitting in that title. And there goes Toyosama. Wow, look at that! It was almost a strategic off there for Toya. Got him around Grimm rather easily. Gets a couple of tires up off into the air there, the right side, as he goes into the Avery crawl, then carry out corner. Now up to 11, Superhero Everett. Locks up the brakes a little bit. We've seen that from Toya a time or two here. We'll go back to that one here on the X-Venture Rewind. Look at that. Okay, maybe it wasn't strategic. He kind of had a sloppy entry there into the Wiggly Ghibli. And then here's where he throws a couple of tires up into the air. Whoop. Almost a little bit too far into the inside there at turn 10, or the turn 9B, actually. Joe Beardy in 5th position all by himself. Barf Monkey is entering turn 1 as I speak, so maybe about 5, 6, 7 seconds behind is Joe Beardy from P4. And unfortunately for Floofy, he too is starting to find himself close to 5 full seconds behind our race leader, Arzia McQueen. Ghibli Giblet says, my turn is causing some turbulence. Don't underestimate the wiggle. That's right. And now we are most certainly starting to see the field thin out. We've got to look all the way back to P13. And now make that P12 for Chaos Fox as he gets around Fear the Fun, who's into the Beardy Beer Garden. Into the Rosder Steam corner, turn 1. Lap 28 of 36 now as McQueen trips the counter. He's about to put half the field a lap back at this point. Whoa, and there goes Chaos Fox. A little liberties with the corner there out of turn number 5. Saddle Up Sunday. It's my final one. Who knows when we'll see Red Dead Redemption back there on X-Venture. Finishing up some of the Stranger missions. Starting at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. But hey, don't weep. Because after Red Dead Redemption 2 is done, it's LA Noire, February 21st. Really looking forward to that one. That's going to be a lot of fun. You guys can put those truth, doubt, and lies emotes to use. Again, that's beginning February 21st, but one more Red Dead 2 broadcast this Sunday, 8 a.m. Let's go to Slipstream. Ghibli says, LA Noir! I know, it's 8 a.m., says, yeah, Wise Mitten says, 8 a.m. on a Sunday? Holy smokes. I know, it's the best time slot for me to get in a 4-hour broadcast. If you miss any of those episodes live, just know that you could watch here on demand, twitch.tv/xventure. For those who may be watching on demand on YouTube, but then you can also watch on YouTube. All of my broadcasts in their entirety. As a matter of fact, YouTube is the place to go because after 30 days since the broadcast here on Twitch, Twitch deletes those VODs. So you got to head on over to YouTube to catch up with those. All 13 episodes of Saddle Up Sunday are there, along with my Find It, Fix It, Flip It broadcast there with Car Mechanic Simulator 2018, Elite Dangerous, City Skylines, everything that you'll find here on Xventure, you'll find over on the YouTube channel. Same name, EXEVENTURE. Slipstream here, just having to deal with a little bit of lap traffic as he comes up to turn 13. The Forza Comp GG corner. Looking for a good fight out here. Where is one? Funtang, 13th position. Sandwiched between Chaos Fox and Fear the Fun. In that slideways car. And we've seen Funtang a little bit slideways. Oh, and by the way, hit me up with a follow on Twitter. That way you can keep up to date with all the things that are going on. Most of the time when I make special announcements, they'll be posted on Twitter first, and then I'll bring that into the broadcast. So if you want to be kept up to date with everything that's happening here, new announcements, and then just generally a reminder of when the broadcast goes live, my Twitter handle, EXEVENTURE. Man, I'm consistent. Xventure everywhere. Comes Futang now across the line for the beginning of lap 29. And just now starting lap 29 with our leader, RZ McQueen, in first right behind him. So RZ McQueen about to put P13 a lap down. That's how quick McQueen is. And oh, there goes Chaos Fox. Chaos Fox is going to lose another spot coming through the Roster Steam corner. And there's Kuda. Kuda on the fringe here of a top 15 finish. Trying to maybe pick up a few more spots here. Comes Fear the Fun now into turn 10. Carry out corner right there on the back of Chaos Fox. Fear the Fun kind of rotates the car into the grass over the curbing, keeping a couple of tires on that white line just to be within track limits. Now out of turn 12. Nothing's hotter than a Cougar Racing, named by Slow Motion Fire. And now down the back straightaway they'll go. Look at this. Look at this bundle of vehicles. You got Funtang there. Now right onto the back bumper of RZ McQueen, the race leader. And so RZ McQueen and only got a couple of cars making contact there. It looks like Kuda was able to get on the brakes. Perhaps he was predicting that. And now Funtang dropped back a spot into 15th. And is that Kuda now in... No, it's Sprazaus. Nope. That's a back marker who's back behind Funtang and Kuda. Across the lap goes McQueen, beginning of lap 31. And once again, I got to remind you who I am. I'm nobody, but hey, I go by the name of Dustin Moore here on Xventure. A pleasure not only having you guys here for the finale, Season 38 of the Forza Spec Racing Series. Can't wait to jump into Season 39. Yes, we'll have to wait a little bit, but it'll be here before you know it, and we're going to have a lot of fun with that one. I don't know what the car is yet. RZ McQueen, our champion here in Season 38, is going to be making that decision in the coming days. Slow Motion Fire will post up some obscure photos, some close-up, some macro photography from which the drivers can guess what vehicle it is. If they guess correctly, they get to pick one of the tracks for Season 39's schedule. So a lot to happen here in the off-season, and you know it here on X-Venture. I'll keep you busy with content while we wait for that racing to return. We'll talk about what that content's going to be here after this race completes. And stick around. We're going to talk to some of our drivers in the driver spotlight, which is always a lot of fun. And then, of course, I will tease what's coming up here on the channel over the next couple of weeks. Not only in place of FM4 on Tuesdays, but then on Sundays and Sunday and Fridays, and then our fun event there on March 6th. Oh no. Did we lose somebody again? Doesn't look that way. I still see, oh no, carry out. Wow, carry out. Who was in fifth or sixth? Rip. My, oh my. Let's go to Audrex in eighth. If you won, could you use trucks or some weird car? Batman asks. Yeah, actually, you could pick any car as long as its maximum PI is S-Class. They won't go above S-Class here in the Forza Spec Racing Series. So anything from S-Class on down to the lowest class, which is E-Class, I believe. They've done those. But yeah, back in Season 35, was it? We had the Ford F100. What year is that? I don't remember. That a 1940s truck? 1950s? Poor Floofy has got traffic all around him on either side, to include his passenger side there with Fear the Fun on the inside line as they go into Superhero Everett, turn 11, named by DWM Frog. Yes, carry out saying DC'd. Very unfortunate. Had a great run here in this race, and with just a few laps remaining, there won't be a restart. Floofy off into the grass a little bit, able to bring it back out onto the racing surface. Through the field, it's RZ and McQueen in first, Floofy in second, Craytrim in third, Barf Monkey in fourth, Joe Beardy in fifth, Toyo-sama in sixth, Slipstream in seventh, Audrex is in eighth, LS Barney is in ninth, Jacob T. BOED in 10th. You got to look all the way back to 11th position to find some close racing. That's Fear the Fun in 11th with Kuda. And really, it's not incredibly close. Kuda about a second behind there in P12, then Chaos Fox and Funtang. Oh, Carryout saying that he's been having trouble with the USB Wi-Fi adapter. Somebody get that man a 1,000-foot Ethernet cable. Hook him up. We've had such a good season. I mean, despite the fact that RZ McQueen is going to come away with 8 of the 9 races won here in Season 38, the racing has been incredible to watch. You may think, okay, well, a driver has dominated that much. How exciting can it possibly be? But really, the racing isn't just up front. And I know you're like, well, hey, you race to win. Yeah, sure. But again, in one of these leagues where you got drivers of all different skill levels, you're going to find great battles all across the track, from the front of the grid all the way to the back of the field. And we've seen that. It's been riveting. Even though we've had the same winner for 8 races, no race has really felt the same. And so all the drivers, regardless of the fact that they're not going to get the championship, unless your name is RZM McQueen, are going to be interested in where they finish at the end of the season. How high up on the overall leaderboard, and that really should be your goal. Join the Forza Spec Racing Series, set yourself a goal, heck, maybe even establish a stretch goal of where you would really, really want to be, and see how well you can do. Find somebody on the track who fits your driving style, or at least is as competitive as you, and make them kind of your personal rival. Head on over to reddit.com/r/FM4 here in the next couple of days. They'll get the Season 39 information posted. Don't be afraid to join. If you're sitting there and you're thinking, oh gosh, and there goes Cuda93, who's going to drive off into the grass sideways there into the roster steam corner. Now he's going to have to hightail it back out there. Unfortunately, he's got no real swarms of traffic back behind him. Cuda scoots on by on a different lap there. But, yeah, Cuda able to make the recovery. It doesn't matter how bad or how good you think you are. You want to put your skills to the test. The Forza Spec Racing Series is the place to be. You're going to find drivers out here who are Forza Racing Championship, FRC capable, and some drivers who have certainly run in the Forza Racing Championship, all the way down to folks who maybe only race in Forza on Tuesdays because that's all the time that they have. I assure you, however, for the most part, everybody keeps their nose clean. If they catch somebody out of line, give you a little bit of a warning, let you know of what you did wrong. But then after that, it's cool. They go into the next race with no hard feelings. If you can keep it clean, you're good to go week after week. And I promise you, over time, you're going to get better out here. There's almost always good close racing going on somewhere, says Unironically Average. That dude should know. He knows. He found his competition up toward the front of the field, but Unironically Average knows that back in his rearview mirror, there were plenty of battles happening back there. Now with Fear the Fun, who has found himself into the top 10, and that might be by default here with SGR, or not SGR, DOR Carryout, unfortunately disconnecting. But if Fear the Fun's not careful, he's got Jacob T, BOED, back behind him by a second or two. Let's go ahead and put a little love here. The camera on RZM McQueen. Now out of turn 3, Fear's bumper bend. That's named by Joe Beardy. Coming up to T5 after T4 there, of course. Then T6, it'll be the Wiggly Ghibli. Next time by the flag stand here for RZM McQueen will be the white flag. Last lap as he gets his way by LS Barney, who's in 9th. I mean, it's incredible. LS Barney is no slouch, and RZM McQueen is running laps around him. Well, just one lap, but still, it's RZM McQueen has got crazy speed, and we'll see what his competition looks like in Season 39 if he decides to participate and try to make it a threefer, a hat trick. And now out of turn 12, up to 13, Forza Comp GG, then, or actually that's 13, then 14 is Susie Q. And my last call to the viewers here, I promise, I won't do it to you again. Click that follow button if you haven't already. Would like to acknowledge you here. We'll have a nice little banner at the bottom of the screen welcoming you to the I think it's the pit lane that we call it. And here comes RZM McQueen, maybe struggling with the shift there a little bit. I don't know. He's going to come across the line. Lap 36, white flag flies. And for the final time here, into turn number 1, Rosdersteam goes McQueen. It's the Chonk. That ain't Puma. It's Chonk. Out of 2, into 3. Fear's bumper bend. No fear whatsoever for McQueen. Nobody around him at this point. He will have maybe 1 or 2 more lap traffic cars up ahead. Out of 5. Into the Wiggly Ghibli. Named by Ghibli Giblets. Subscriber here on Twitch. And yes, Our subscribers, again, in Season 39, we'll do this again where you can name the corners of the final race. So if you want to keep supporting the channel, you're more than welcome to do so, and I'll continue to think of ways to get you involved and bring a little bit more value to your subscription here on Xventure. Down the back straightaway for the final time. Is this all manual or auto? Yeah, it is driver choice, yes. There are a few assists that you must either enable or disable. One of them that comes to mind is friction assist. And then there's a couple of others. Reddit.com/r/FM4. Granted, it'll be the Season 38 information, but it'll be the same. In terms of assist settings, it'll be the same going into Season 39, so you can get an idea of what you can and cannot use there. Here comes RZ McQueen, going to pick up his 8th of 9 races with a victory across the line. Our back-to-back Forza Spec Racing Series champion. Well done in the 360 Challenge Stradale. McQueen, I think, maybe in his 5th or 6th season here in FM4 to pick up 2 championships and to do it back-to-back. Well done. SGR Floofy going to go ahead and shove him off the track there in 2nd position. Cratrium now out of turn 17. The Barney's Barbecue and Beans Bend up to turn 18. Jesse Robinson, named by Crazy Ass 7290, and then across the line. 4th position, and like he's just been dropped on a deserted desert island. He's got nobody around him, but he'll cross the line just outside of the top 3. P4 for Barf Monkey. Awesome job. Joe Beardy, 5th position. On the racing wheel with that Virtucon livery. A little nod there to Austin Powers. I like it. I watch that trio of movies at least once a year. There you go. Go to 6. It's Toyo-sama. Impressive. Impressive. P6 finish in his debut race in the Forza Spec Racing Series. Hope to see Toyo's name back in Season 39. Slipstream, 7th position. Audrex, close behind in 8th. It'll be LS Barney in 9th, Fear the Fun in 10th, Jacob T in 11th, Foontang in 12th, Chaos Fox is 13th, Kuda gets 14th, Sprazaus in 15th, Slow Motion Fire in 16th, OK Fox Jason D, you're in 17th, Grim in 18th, and then we lost Enraged Barney and Virus Thoughts, 2 DNFs. Actually, we are up to 3 DNFs, aren't we? Yeah, we are. Carryout. Carryout's the 3rd, unfortunately. Okay, folks, I'm going to take note of where everybody finished. Don't go anywhere. Let's hang out for a little bit. We'll wrap this thing up probably in about 20 minutes' time. Going to run some ads. For those of you who are not subscribers, which I don't know how many there could possibly be after Roger's team has seemingly gifted everyone a Tier 1 subscription here in Season 38, but if you can hang tight through the ads, it's appreciated. It does help the broadcast, which, again, I take those proceeds and turn them around into production value here for the channel or to viewer giveaways or raffles. And right on the opposite side here of the 3-minute break, we will we'll talk to some of our drivers in the driver spotlight, talk about what's ahead here on Xventure. And I promise you, you're not going to want to miss it. We've got a lot of great content to come, racing and otherwise. Fun stuff. So thank you so much for tuning in. Hope to see you here on the opposite side of the commercial break. I'm Dustin Moore. You're watching the Forza Spec Racing Series Season 38 finale right here on Twitch TV. And welcome back to X-Venture Live here on Twitch TV. We close things out here in Season 38. What a great season it has been. RZ McQueen entered our final race here, race number 9 of Season 38, with the championship already locked down. That isn't to say that we didn't have great racing out there at VIR. We most certainly did. Let's go ahead and bring into the driver's spotlight SGR Chaos Fox, who was a part of that mid-pack battle that we always see race in, race out. Chaos Fox, I'm going to guess that you would have preferred a higher finish. However, it looked like you were having some fun out there.
Yeah, there was a lot of position swapping, a lot of battles between Foon, Jacob, Fear, Barney, and Kuda. VIR is not my strong point, but I've raced it enough to feel fairly confident. This car is certainly tricky to drive. I would just have these bouts of understeer, and they were very inconsistent. And I'm sure you probably caught plenty of us doing it, because I saw a lot of people like high speed turns with this car. Like it'll either just hit them, or the car will just kind of plow and off into the grass you go. But there were plenty of times where I just dropped a tire and boom, I just lost 2 positions. Too many mistakes, but I mean, it was exciting, but I wish I did better. But hindsight 2020.
Well, that's okay. You got some fans who've been cheering you on in the chat. Paula Brady in here saying, "Russ," throwing some hearts in there for you. So you had the fans that were watching you. Of course, I think you have probably one of the bigger followings of any of the drivers out there on the track. So another season down. This finish here will either keep you right in the 10th position overall on the leaderboard, or drop you back a couple of positions. What was your favorite race here of the 9 in season 38?
That's a toughie. Trying to remember which ones I did.
I can tell you which ones you didn't care for so much. That was probably the Brickyard and the Nürburgring, yeah?
Yeah, Nürburgring. Oh, no. Honestly, Daytona, I had a lot of fun on.
The sport car circuit?
And Hockenheim. Yes.
Yeah.
And Hockenheim, I did pretty good on. While I was not a fan of the oval, I did place very good. But it was more or less me surviving. But
right.
This car, this Ferrari was probably the first car in all my seasons here where I had to revamp the car for every race, because it is just so fickle. It's so sensitive to the setup that's on it, where most of the cars I can put like a base tune on it and just kind of tweak little bits of things for each track, or not even tweak it at all. This car, no, it was cranky no matter what track I put it on.
Yeah. Yeah, and you were talking a little bit earlier, high-speed cornering. You found a little bit of understeer in the car. I mean, we did have a lot of those high-speed corners. The Daytona sport car circuit, quite a bit there. Hockenheim Ring, big sprawling track. That was in the rain at that. And then, of course, we had the Indy races there in week number 2, followed by Laguna Seca, Long Beach, Suzuka, high-speed cornering there, Nürburgring, Nordschleife. There's plenty there. And then out here at VIR. If you were to maybe change something or do something different in this season with the 360, is there anything that you could definitively say, yeah, that's what I would change?
Honestly, because I've driven this car with different setups, because I was just trying to guess like how the build was going to be for the season. Honestly, no aero. The car seemed to be a lot more predictable and consistent without the aero. That's the only thing I would really change about it.
Okay. Talking with SGR Chaos Fox here in the driver's spotlight. You're kind of a mainstay here in the Forza Spec Racing Series. I mean, I think as long as I've been broadcasting the events, I've been calling your name out. So tell us about season 39. I mean, are you planning to be here? I would like to assume what the answer is going to be, but I'm not one to assume. So you tell us.
More than likely, I'm probably going to show up. It's become almost a routine now. I've been doing this for over a year with RFM4, and I kind of like spending my Tuesdays racing with these guys. So more than likely, you're going to see me back for season 39.
What about, we saw SGR Floofy, who gave McQueen about as much of a run for his money as he possibly could. McQueen just really, really fast. Anybody else in the SGR stable who might be interested, or maybe, and the Corvid. We had Corvid for a couple of races here in Season 38, although not the entire season. Anybody else that you think we might see here from the Scrub School Racing team?
Not too sure.
Okay.
Corvid might be back. Floofy, not too sure. He doesn't really play Forza a ton as much as he used to, but I could certainly rally the troops and see if I can get more SGR drivers in here, because depending on the car, it might get their attention, because that's what got Floofy here. So
Right.
with the right car, you might see more of us.
That's what I love about the season is oftentimes we'll get new drivers in here just because they're like, oh, yeah, now we're talking. I'd love to get behind the wheel of that thing. So, yeah, it will be curious to see where RZ and McQueen goes here with Season 39 and if he plans to participate to try to go back to back to back. SGR Chaos Fox, tell us real quick, what is coming up for SGR? Are there any big-time events that we should be looking out to see, hey, there's some more SGR drivers? Anything you guys are planning for?
Anything Forza wise, probably the big events we're probably looking at, I would say, is the upcoming Tour endurance races is probably the biggest thing SGR is looking at Forza wise. Anything else, we're probably kind of striking out individually, but like as a team, as like a whole, Tour is having a 12 hours of Sebring come next month, and you're probably going to see a good handful of SGR drivers attacking that. So that's probably the next big race we're thinking about. As for RFM4 or any other leagues or anything like that, it's really just kind of on our own. We don't have we don't strive to go out to go dominate and do everything. We pretty much just kind of go off and do our own thing, represent SGR in a good way. And that's that. It's the big endurance events that Toro hosts that we seem to rally together as a team and really try to pull together. So.
Yep. And I think it's is Sebring the next one?
Yes, 12 hours of Sebring, which is going to be next month.
Right. Absolutely. You guys make sure. I think it's going to be. I don't know. I don't want to assume who's going to be broadcasting that one. We saw. Track Sabing and Delta Live TV, they were doing some coverage of the Tora 24 hours of Daytona. So just look for those names again here in about a month's time for the Sebring race. Chaos Fox. Also, I want to take an opportunity here to say that, admittedly, you and Carbon on weeknights have me flipping between the two of you here on Twitch, watching what you all have to do. You're a little bit more diverse in the gameplay. I've seen Ace Combat stuff happening. Then you'll jump every once in a while back into the old school Gran Turismo games. So go ahead, give yourself a shout out for your channel. What do you think what do you have planned here, maybe in the coming weeks in terms of gameplay?
For this week and probably the next couple of months, I want to bounce around between Art of Rally. Art of Rally is a wonderful game, by the way. If you have not played it, please get it. It is wonderful. The aesthetics of it is beautiful. It's a rally game without pace notes, but the way the camera angles are, you don't need it. But it's a lot of fun. I plan on playing more Ace Combat just because I've been getting back into it. It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
I've been doing public lobby hell streams again. I did one last night for the first time in months, but I'm doing C-Class, and dare I say, it was the most well-mannered public lobby I've ever been on any C-Class lobby ever. I couldn't believe it. It was amazing. Other streams I plan on doing, I might do some livery streams. I haven't done a photography stream on Horizon 4 in a while. I'm probably going to do that.
It's a good time.
Other things I plan on trying to do, because I got the Xbox 360, I want to try to play. I want to play more of Forza Motorsport 2. I need to get back on that playthrough. I need to play a very redheaded stepchild of a game, Import Tuner Challenge, which is really meant to be Tokyo Extreme Racer 4, but that's a whole long story behind that. Fun game, but very tough, very frustrating, but a fun game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mostly mix it up with mostly racing games. The only other non-racing games I usually play is usually like Ace Combat. I usually play old school Doom, heavily modded. But yeah, mostly racing games and other kinds of fun old school stuff.
Very good. Well, there you guys go. That's the pitch. That's if you're not curious with that, then I don't know. I guess Twitch maybe not your thing, but I love it watching the variety streams. And Chaos Fox does a wonderful job. SGR_Chaos Fox. If you're not following him here on Twitch, do so right now. Make it happen. Chaos Fox, what are your shout outs there this evening?
Shout outs for this season. Definitely Jacob. He definitely gave me a lot of good racing this season. Shout out to my friend Andy, Fox Jason D. He's improved a lot this season. And both to Andy and Jacob, for them getting onto a small esports team, Okayest.
Okay.
So they're a part of a team, and they've been wanting to get on a team for a while. So I'm proud of them for getting on there. And Jacob's been getting faster. Andy's been getting faster. I'm really proud of those two. My buddy Raccoon isn't here. AP1 Raccoon.
Oh.
I guess he couldn't make it tonight, but I always like racing with him too. But sad I couldn't race with him tonight.
Yep. We miss seeing Raccoon out there on the track, and among other drivers too who were unable to make it here for the season 38 finale. Well, Chaos Fox, always a pleasure. Look forward to seeing it in season 39, and of course, I'll catch you on your streams from time to time.
All right, cool. See you then. All
righty. Nice, good long interview there with Chaos Fox, and in the middle of that, Carry Out dropping 5 Tier 1 gifted subscriptions to Jupiter's Drops, Foontang Lounge Toy from Turn 10 Studios, Max the Cool Kid, Savage Reaper 89. Congrats to all those folks for picking up the Tier 1 sub here on XVenture. Enjoy the emotes and the ad-free viewing. Let's go ahead now. LS Barney into the driver's spotlight. LS Barney, you entered the week 5 racing, the finale here in season 38 in 7th position, 200 points. You finished out here, gosh, let's see, what's that going to be? I don't know. You probably know better than I. 9th?
What is in the championship or on the actual race?
In this VIR race.
Oh, I qualified 9th and finished 9th.
Yep. Okay.
No, I think I qualified 10th actually.
Qualified 10th. Yeah, and I do have you for 9th here, back behind Audrex, Fear the Fun. You too were a part of that mid-pack action there with Chaos Fox. Fear the Fun, who was just kind of all over the place for that race. How was it? Was it exciting, or was it one of those where you're like, yeah, can you guys go away? I'd be better off.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those times where you just don't want to be around people. It causes a lot of problems.
Yeah. What about so with that being said, what was the strategy like for the pit lane stop? Did you go in right on time, or did you go ahead and duck in early to maybe kind of get rid of that traffic for a bit?
I think it was a good time to pit. I was waiting because I heard there might have been a restart happening. But the guy who DC'd just barely missed the re-entry point. So around lap 60, I think I went back into the pits.
Okay. And what about the car? I mean, to be in 7th, entering the finale, 200 points, that's pretty darn good. Were you happy with the car throughout the season?
For most tracks. Some tracks like Indy, it just really didn't work. But most of the tracks, it felt great.
Talking with LS Barney here in the driver's spotlight at the conclusion of season 38 in the 360 Challenge Stradale. A lot of the drivers saying for the most part the car's good. Yeah, sure, maybe there's a few little nuances about it that make it a little bit more difficult to tame, but hey, that's racing for you. What was your favorite race here in season 38?
Either Hockenheim or Indy GP.
Okay, so early on in the season, weeks 1 or 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Hockenheim, that's an interesting pick too. We had some weather out there.
Yeah, I'm just a big fan of wet races, so having it be in the wet was a fun time.
So do you get in on the fun when Slow Motion Fire posts up the photos, hoping that maybe you can claim a track and then make it rain?
Oh, definitely. Every time I try to pick Suzuka in the wet just because I know everyone hates it and I love it.
Suzuka? See, actually, Suzuka in the wet's not too bad. I'm trying to think of what my least favorite track in the rain is. I think it's got to be. Oh gosh, I'm forgetting the name of it. The British track. Not Silverstone. Not Silverstone.
Brands Hatch.
Brands Hatch.
Brands
There we
Hatch.
go. Yeah, Brands Hatch in the rain. That's the one I absolutely dread. We haven't been to Brands Hatch in a while. You want to go to Brands Hatch in the rain?
No, last time I was at Brands Hatch in the rain was in the F100s, and that was terrible.
Oh, that was a good season. The F100s.
Yeah.
That was a fun season. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so no Brands Hatch in the rain. Got it. Which track would it be then, if you can pick here for season 39?
Like I said, Suzuka in the wet. It's one of my
okay,
favorite
not
tracks.
Suzuka though.
but-
Everybody else hates Suzuka. So which one's second?
Second, maybe Silverstone. That's
Silverstone.
a fun track.
Yeah, Silverstone in the rain's not bad. Not bad. Okay. Carryout says, "Ha! I picked the track in the rain." So there, yeah, that's right. Carryout was with the Hockenheim selection. All right, so we talked about track, and then you said weather conditions. You're a fan of rain events, but where do you want to go on the PI spectrum here for season 39? If you could tell McQueen, hey, go higher or go lower, which way are you going?
I'd say S class because stuff like the EB110 that we did a few seasons ago. Those I'm just really good at S class cars, but I just haven't gotten a good car so far yet.
Okay. All righty. LS Barney, a member of the Lightspeed Esports team. We've had you guys show up in the Forza Spec Racing Series aplenty, and then, of course, a lot of the events that I used to host back in the virtual Autosports days. So you guys are pretty prominent, and I'm guessing some of the tour events you, too, will be a part of, yeah?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of I think we're going to have a team for at least every endurance event this year, but most of the small events, like they're doing NASCAR, I think maybe one other person are going to be doing those events.
There you go. And Tora announcing today that there will be 2 broadcasts for NASCAR, so you guys can catch those live on the Tora. Actually, no, it'll be on the track Sabine for the European races, and then I'm trying to remember who it is for the North American. But head on over to the Tora Twitter, and that's where you'll find the information on where you can watch the NASCAR races here throughout their season. Ellis, Barney, anything any parting words for you here as we wrap up season 38?
All I'd probably like to say is everyone who's going to be racing next season, Suzuka in the wet's coming. I'm telling you all now.
You're guaranteeing it. You're gonna make it happen. If you've got to guess
It's
100
gonna
times the car, you're gonna get it figured out.
Yeah, I'm gonna try my best.
Very good, Barney. Well, enjoy the off season, and we look forward to seeing you back there in season 39.
Yeah.
All right. How about this one? Joining us not only for the first time in the Forza Spec Racing Series for the season 38 finale, but now into the driver's spotlight. Toya Sama, 420. Welcome.
Hello.
I'm gonna do my best to boost you on my end, but I think you might have to increase the volume on yours as well.
Okay, give me one quick second here.
Really, really low. We'll try to get Toya here.
How's that?
I think that might be better. You guys in the pit lane, let me know if he's a little bit too low. But Toya finishing 6th, back behind Joe Beardy. You kind of ended up there in those last, the last quarter of the race with just kind of this, hot lapping session. Not really many cars around you apart from lap traffic. But what an impressive start here in the with your debut in the Forza Spec Racing Series. So how long have you been playing Forza, and can we expect you in season 39?
You can expect me in the season 39, and I've been playing, I'd say, since Forza 1 back on the 360, so not quite OG days, but was a little bit late to the party. I skipped number 5 entirely, but I've played a little bit, started getting better in 6, let's say.
Okay. And what encouraged you or motivated you to take part in RFM4 here for season 30, or at least for the last race?
I was doing the Hot Hatch Genesis leagues, and I met one of the members, and he told me that it's an awesome group and to jump in.
Okay. And so here we were in season 38 in the 360 Challenge Stradale. I don't know how that fits in terms of your preference of cars, especially since you hosted the Hot Hatch events. What would you like to see as the season 39 vehicle if you had a choice?
Oh, off the top of my head, 84 Civic.
Oh, okay. Going back a little bit, a couple of decades, and then dropping it down to what? Where would you like to see the Civic? In C class, B class?
Doesn't really matter, but yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter, just as long as it's the 84 Civic.
Yeah. Either way, I'll deal with it.
Gotcha. What do you think so far? I mean, you did pretty darn good, and then out in front of you, you had Joe Beardy, Barf Monkey, Cratrium, Floofy, Queen. Are these drivers that you've raced before, or is this kind of
No,
a
not
new
at all.
group of
First time.
people? Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a pretty strong finish. If you could have done something different here in the finale, where do you think you could have finished if you were on your A game? If you weren't, I mean, I'm not going to suggest that you weren't, but maybe if you could have done a few things different, where might you have finished?
More practice in the car, more time to tune. That's about
practice. And then possibly a top 3.
I'm not sure. What were the times on the top 3?
I don't know. Because
I'm pretty sure I could get it in the 55s if I practice some more on this track.
Okay, which is right there with RZ McQueen's qualifying time. I think he was right at a 154.9.
Yeah, and that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
What's your sweet spot track? Like, okay, here we go into season 39. You plan to be there. If there's one track that you could throw into the schedule, where are we going?
Ooh, probably Suzuka West.
Oh, in the
with
rain?
With the little chicane, if that's possible. Rain, no rain. I haven't played in rain in a long time because I mostly play in the public servers, and there's no rain there, just a bit of fog.
Okay.
So that'd be a nice twist for me, but I'm sure everyone else has experienced it a bunch.
And tell us a little bit about your background. You know, you told us your Forza experience, but when it comes to learning what the Season 39 car is, do you oftentimes find yourself putting a lot of testing and tuning in? Are you good on the tuning aspect of things, or do you kind of have to defer to somebody else, or are you somebody who like just wings it? Like, tell me the car, I'll put together maybe a generic tune, and then I'll go racing. What's your style?
I don't mind experimenting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really slow on tuning, so it takes me a lot of time. But I started learning in Forza 6 somewhere halfway through the lifespan of Forza 6 on the tuning aspect. Before that, I had no clue what the hell I was doing, using tuning apps and stuff like that, and just trying to figure it out and making some janky tunes.
Right. Fair enough.
And then I met some people that taught me, so yeah, that helped out a lot.
And you know, sure, it's early still. I mean, you raced one time here in FM4, but what do you make of like the folks that are in here? Are they pretty friendly, welcoming, or does that excite you about the next season? Is that knowing that these are pretty good guys and gals out here on the track?
All of the above. Yeah, they're all great. There was tiny little bit of contact, but rubbing is racing. There was no crashing or anything. It was very civilized. Love it.
Awesome. That's what we like to hear, and I think that's the same testament that we hear from all the drivers, really. And so, again, if you're interested in participating, head on to reddit.com/r/FM4. Nightbot's going to hook you up there with the link. Click on that. Season 39 information will be posted shortly. And then get yourself signed up. There inevitably will be a reserves list at the beginning. But even if you're on that reserves list, be at the ready on Tuesdays, because more oftentimes than not, there's a couple of spots available for you to join in and have a part in the racing. So don't be discouraged if you're not in one of the top 23 spots for the grid. Toyo-sama, again, well done. Very impressed, and look forward to seeing what car is selected for Season 39 and how you do there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Have a great one, and we'll catch you here in about 4 weeks' time. In the driver spotlight now, we've got the man who dropped 5 gifted subs to a couple of folks here in the pit lane, just hanging out watching, and now they've got Tier 1 subscriptions next to their name, is Carryout. And Carryout, unfortunately, got bit by the DNF bug here in the finale.
Yes, it did.
It was a pretty good run for you, too. I think I saw you there in, was it as high up as 6th?
Got up to 6th when everybody started pitting. Everybody came back out. Pitted, came back out in 8th, I do believe. 8th is about where I expected to be during that race.
How about the start? I know you told us that your qualifying wasn't necessarily where you had hoped, that you had more in it to maybe get further up in the grid. Was that a problem at all, working through traffic, or no?
No, I after turn one, Chaos Fox was on my butt a little bit, and we ended up actually doing pretty good on lap 1 into lap 2. Like no incidences that I saw, no contact or anything. So it was actually pretty good.
It was pretty good indeed. You had a corner named, thanks to your subscription here to X Venture. You named turn 10 carry out corner. That is probably the one corner where I have the most problems out here at VIR. I always take it wide, and that is the worst possible section of the track to take wide, because then you're sliding downhill in the grass. Did you name that one because you liked it and
no.
You wanted to put your name on it? No?
I wanted to put my name on it because that corner will carry you way out into the field.
That's true. I didn't even think of that. Carry out, of course. I love it. I love it indeed. And of course that support. What about for you though? I mean, you know the consequences of going wide there, but it seemed like throughout the race you were able to tame that one pretty well.
Yeah, I had a few incidences at that corner, and nothing where I slid completely off.
Yeah.
A couple of times hitting the curbs there and getting a little sideways, a little bit of sim twitch.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything.
Okay. What about season 39? Can we plan on you being there?
I'm going to try how work goes.
Yeah, you talked to us about that a little bit.
I'll definitely try to make a few races, but...
Okay. And then let's just say we've talked to a couple drivers about what PI Spectrum, Toyo-sama just telling us now that he would love to see the 84 Civic. If you had your say, where are we going in terms of car decision here for season 39?
My car pick would probably be the 95 911 Porsche GT2.
Oh, a Porsche. I think there was a Porsche season that I had to skip, or that maybe it was actually a Porsche season that happened just before I started broadcasting, but I would love to see an FM4 series with a Porsche. That would be
it would be nice. Either that one or maybe like the 82 911.
Uh-huh.
Or even to mix it up a little bit, maybe the 944 would be interesting, like B class or something like that.
Yeah, a rear engine race. I don't know when the last time there might have been a rear engine. Of course, we just finished up the mid engine here in the 360, but put that motor over the rear axle, and we'll see how people drive. Carry out. Well done here in this season. I think. Let's see. I'm going to take a look at the standings here real quick.
Not even on it.
Not even on it, but no, that's because you were missing too many races. However, if you were in it, I would have guessed that we'd seen you definitely in the top 10, maybe even top 5. So hopefully, if you're able to do it here in season 39, give those folks a run for their money. Joe Beardy, Oddrex, Stevie Superstack, who we didn't see tonight, Ellis Barney, Barf Monkey, Chaos Fox, the whole lot, Fear the Fun, all of them. Carry out any shout outs here tonight? Anybody you want to say hi or thanks to tonight? Oh, we might have lost Carry Out. I heard some dogs, so he might have gone mute on us. You still there?
I know I'm here. I'm muted because of the doggies barking. Shout out to the doggies barking. They're awesome.
There you go. Yeah. Who are the doggies? What's the names? What do we got?
Raven and Varg.
Raven and Varg. All right. Shout outs to the dogs for sure. Carry Out, always a pleasure. And again, thank you so much for all your support here on the broadcast. Do hope, in fact, to see you in season 39.
Do my best to be there. Thank you.
Very good. And that's another great thing I can't stress enough here about the Forza Spec Racing Series is even if you don't have all the time to commit to a full season, that's quite all right. If you're in and out from week to week, that's okay. They're not going to frown upon you for doing that because more times than not, they have the spare spots on the grid to welcome any driver who's ready to go. So even if you're like, yeah, well, I know I won't be able to be there for week 2 or week 3 or maybe for 3 of the 5 weeks, whatever the case may be, if you're ready to go, even though you can't make the full season, hop in there and have some fun. And then who knows, maybe the next season afterward, you'll be able to be in it for the long haul. Speaking of it being in there for the long haul, the man who helps get things up and running here in the Forza Spec Racing Series and the driver who oftentimes gives us a great deal of entertainment. And I say that in an endearing sense, Fear the Fun, because, a race would be boring if all cars went forward all times. Seeing somebody spin it out every once in a while is a little bit of entertainment, not at your expense, but I know you're doing your best, and sometimes in doing so you push it a little bit too far, and too far takes you off the track.
I go backwards in style.
That's right. That's right. We saw you get up into the guardrail. You were able to hold off any damage from that. Like you didn't sustain anything there. So it seemed like the one pit stop was all you needed. I mean, heck, you finished there in 10th position.
Yeah, I'm surprised myself. I was just kind of a little bit all over the place today. up, down, back, forth, in the wall, out of the wall, no damage.
Wouldn't have it any other way, right?
I mean, I'm kind of known for it at this point. Like, if I changed up now, who would be the entertainer?
You would be a stranger to us if you were just the man of consistency out there on the track. All said and done here in season 38. What did you make of the car? You finished, I think, in the top 10 overall on the leaderboard. So how do you feel about how you did? What are your thoughts there?
You know what? For how absolutely terrible my first 2 weeks are, the fact that I got 10th in points, that's a win for me. I really didn't want to show up today. I'm really, really tired. Even though I got like 16 hours of sleep yesterday.
Oh wow!
My computer was acting up today, and my controller, I think it even disconnected like one time, in the middle of the race. I just kind of did everything I had to. I guess I'm working my way through it.
There you go. Doing it in style, even with all the technical difficulties and everything. Fear the Fun here in the driver's spotlight for the conclusion of season 38. 10th place finish, and I think you're going to secure either 8th or 9th here overall on the standings once Slow Motion Fire has done all the calculations. He says he calls you the man who needs no introduction, but man, I loved giving you one because then you could take the conversation wherever you want to go.
I try, at least. I try to roll off other people's action.
Yeah. We heard from Toyo-sama, who joined for the first time here in season 38 and for the final race. And then we heard from Carryout, who was talking about, Toya, who was talking about an 84 Civic. We heard Carryout talking about a rear-engined Porsche. What do you make of those thoughts? Not that any of those have a say. It's going to be RZ McQueen who ultimately decides, but what do you think about taking a couple decades step backward or maybe even a rear-engine race car?
If we're going to go back, it's got to be like a C2 or a C3 Corvette with some big old meats on it with absolutely no horsepower.
With absolutely no horsepower, so just a grip machine, huh? Or maybe not. You said meat, so it's going to have grip.
All the grip. None of the horsepower, all the grip.
And then a bunch of those 70 lappers out at like Long Beach and some other short tracks, right?
Yeah, you got to do the short. You got to do like more ovals. We got to do more of those little short ones that everybody gets real mad at because they do great at them. We just got to make everybody's life miserable so I can get like in a top 5 situation in points. Maybe if I can finagle my way past McQueen with or without a bumper touch.
Yeah, McQueen without a bumper touch. By the way, so great. Thanks for reminding me here. Joe Beardy, who the dude went above and beyond tier 2 subscription. So not only did he get to name T3, but he also named the pit lane Beardy's Beer Garden there. T3, Fears, Bumper Bend. You actually seemed pretty clean through that section.
Everybody gives me a bad reputation. And you know what? I may embrace the reputation of giving people the bumper, and I may do it a lot, actually. But it's just, I give people the bumper. If you're...
Go ahead.
I'm known for being aggressive. I don't try to be as aggressive as I look, but I guess it's just how it works out. And I try to embrace it to the best of my ability.
If you're going to embrace it, you just don't want to affirm it like in the corner that is named Fears Bumper Bend. Like the other 17 corners, sure, you'll give them a nudge, but you can't do it when Joe Beardy names the corner. Like you can't give him that credit, right?
No, I mean, I even talked to Slip early in the race. I was like, "Can I touch your butt?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can touch." He's like, just don't do it in the fast corner. And I did it in the fast left-hander corner of the entire track.
Somebody's clipping that port right there, and they're going to use that against you. And then, of course, we'll make it a sound effect here on Xventure, and we'll have some fun with that one. Yeah, there you go.
I'm not afraid to admit I touched the button. All right.
Hey, nothing wrong. It's racing. It's racing. It's going to happen. Bumper to bumper.
Exactly.
A little bit of fun out there on the track. Make it interesting. Talking with Fear the Fun here in the driver's spotlight. Slow Motion Fire telling us there in the pit lane. Short track vintage Corvette racing. He's sold. Well, Slow is as much authority as you have in the series. You don't have the decision. Tell us what is that balance, though, to make sure that everybody kind of has an enjoyable experience? Do you and Slow kind of moderate things when it comes to, okay, here's the car that was selected. Now we've got folks that are throwing in what tracks they want to have based on their guess of the car. But is there ever a time where you go, that's not going to be so good. Let's not do that.
Oh, well, when it comes to building cars, it's not like it's just Slow or just me or just modern. This build that we used for our 360 was actually a build by Foon that he threw together in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's very much the same thing on how I came up with the F100 build. And just because Slow and Modern tried their damnedest to find something they could change on the F100 build, so they couldn't call it my build, but they couldn't find anything. We all sit there. We make a private lobby usually on a Friday after the car's announced, and we sit there. We put together builds, tunes for certain classes or whatnot, looking for something that works for all of us. We'll try each other's builds and tunes, and if we like it, then we'll go to that, and then we'll refine it to a good spot. It's a group effort between the two head moderators and us four plebeians.
The plebeian organizers beneath Slow Motion Fire. I got it. Okay, well, I guess if you're going to get your payout of peanuts here from Slow Motion Fire, part of your duties is probably the ambassador duty of encouraging folks to join. So here we are at the end of a season. Season 39 will be coming up here in about 4 weeks' time. What do you have to say to anybody who's curious about pulling the trigger and joining FM4 for season 39?
If you're looking to get into league racing, but you don't want to have a huge overhead or a lot of pressure of doing good, RFM4 is the place for you. We like to do good. We like to have fun. We're not here to see who's the best. Obviously, we've got people like Arzy and McQueen who's one of the fastest people on Forza, and then we have brand new people who barely ever played Forza before.
Yeah,
and they just like to find good racing.
Right.
We have a wide variety of people. There's no limit. We try to limit it to 23 people in a session, but if we get a big sign up and a big show up, we'll try to do a second lobby. And we wouldn't mind doing a second lobby. Of course, we don't want to because it adds a little bit more complication.
Yeah.
But we've yet to have I think we've only had 1 or 2 races, or one whole season where we had to constantly deal with having too many people show up for the race night.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the Sirocco season of all seasons because everybody complains about how bad the Siroccos were. I don't get it. The Sirocco was a great car.
It was fun to watch. It was a good season. I enjoyed it.
I loved it. It was one of the best cars we've done. Yeah. And you ask anybody else, and this is the worst car they ever did. It had too much horsepower. It understeered. It oversteered. And I don't get it. It was a great car.
That's going to be bound to happen for an assortment of 20-some drivers that come in. There's going to be people who come in and out from week to week, and so you're going to get those drivers who are like, yeah, this is an abysmal car. And really, I mean, you can't make everybody happy, so that's just the way these things are going to play out. Slow Motion Fire is saying there in the chat also that we just try to play off aspects of what makes the car unique, but importantly, we try for a tune that will race well in a close group. Fear the Fun, as always, so much fun chatting with you. Anything you'd like to say here to the viewers or, I don't know, to yourself?
Hey, I'm the best there ever was, all right?
Yeah.
That's a pure, hard, cold fact right there. Best there ever was, best there ever be, and I'll give you the bump if you get my way. But don't be afraid to come and join us. We like to have fun. We like people that like to have fun. If you're looking to try something new, RFM4 is for you.
There you go. If you guys think that he's spitting nonsense, then come prove him wrong. Come out here on the FM4 circuit and have a little fun. Fear. Well done. Another season successfully put on, and we will see you in about 4 weeks' time.
Yes, sir. Have a good night, Justin.
You too. You too. All right, that's the last individual I see there in the driver's spotlight, and I think that might be it for tonight. And so, actually, to kind of piggyback off of what Fear the Fun was saying is that, yes, they've only had a few seasons where there's been a couple of races that are completely jam-packed full grid, 23 drivers out there on the track, plus myself as a spectator. I implore you, let's make season 39. Let's start with season 39. Why not? And make it one of the most well-attended seasons. And it would be miraculous and awesome all at once, because here we are, what, four years of Forza Motorsport 7? Never in the Forza Motorsport franchise have we had a title that we've had to kind of deal with, live with, play with for such a long stint of time. By now, according to the regular cadence of the first 7 titles, we would have had a new one by now. But Forza Motorsport, they're dropping the number off of the end of the title. Looks like it may not be here later this year. Would be probably optimistic. It's looking like it may be more like 2022. So let's do what would seem like to be the impossible. I mean, we've seen how popular series like Tora are, the Online Racing Association, with their endurance events, but these are by no stretch of the imagination endurance events. The most that you're going to get endurance-wise is the 9th and final race of the season, and even that, you're looking at an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes worth of racing, which is the equivalent of about 2 races per week in weeks 1 through 4. It's just in week 5 here, the 9th race, it's just one single race just to test your semi-endurance capabilities. So let's make season 39 where we have the most drivers that can possibly fit in one lobby, 23, and then even some who are waiting on the reserves list to hop in. And yes, if you're on the reserve list, I guarantee you one of those races you'll still have a chance to get in, because somebody is not going to be able to make it because of other commitments, of other obligations. So sit on that wait list, that reserve list, ready to go. And then that way, when Slow Motion Fire or Fear the Fun or Modern Weapon, whoever's setting things up for the night, says, hey, yeah, we've got a spot available, you're ready to jump in. And then we'll continue with that trend, 23 drivers. That would be awesome. That would be like the dream, at least for me as the viewer, because, or as the commentator, because that gives us that much more action to watch out on the track. Even if the front of the grid starts to thin itself out, we've got the mid pack, and then even at the back of the pack, if there's battles back there, we'll go check them out. So get yourself ready to go. Season 39 in about 4 weeks' time. We got three Tuesdays here of off-season action, and as a matter of fact, when they're in their off-season and I'm doing other content, they actually do have events that you could partake in, so that way you can kind of get yourself familiarized with the other drivers who are out there on the track, but then also kind of start to make friendships where if you're not the best tuner, if you need a little bit of assistance in that area, or maybe you just need track tips, like here you go out to a track that you're not really all that great at, maybe you need somebody who can kind of help navigate you around the circuit for a few laps. They're always willing to help. I can't think of an instance where we've had any driver come in here and say, yeah, I'm not doing that again. It's never happened, at least to my knowledge. If it has happened, they've never mentioned it here, and so if they're not mentioning it here, then they obviously don't feel that adamant about leaving, and so be a part of the fun. We've got another driver here in the driver's spotlight. I'm gonna bring in real quick Joe Beardy, who was the only driver not named RZ McQueen to pick up a win here in season 38. You finish, Joe, it looks like in 5th position here at VIR.
Yeah, no complaints. And I mean, due to the unfortunate circumstances of Audrex not being able to qualify from a disconnect, it allowed me to beat him tonight, which put me 4th in points overall. So no complaints on the night, no complaints on the season, I'd say.
Very cool. And how was it getting around the track with all that traffic there, you on the racing wheel?
I thought it was great. Personally, I mean, VIR is a track that I mean, back when I first started playing, I couldn't stand it personally. But then over time, you start learning that maybe when some people don't like it, you can make their weakness your strength and learn to like it in the long run. But I think it was great. I mean, with the wheel, the consistency is just so much further ahead with a wheel. So I think once you can at least pick up the sprint pace on the wheel and make the consistency work, I think you can just start running laps. And honestly, I was able to make my lap times drop as the race went on. I think the car got better as the race went through, as the tires wore in.
Yep.
So really, I mean, I just started to gel with the car more and more to the end. I was kind of getting a little sad that the season was going to be over and we wouldn't have the Ferrari anymore.
Yeah, well, that's just as true for you as it is for me. I mean, it seems like even though it's 5 weeks of racing, 9 races, I feel like by the time we get to week 5, I'm still just kind of getting warmed up, and watching these cars go around and seeing who's best in the vehicle or in the driver's seat of these things, and then we say, well, that's it. The season's done. But I love the fact that the seasons kind of do come and go as quickly as they do, because then that gives us a chance, and of course all the drivers a chance to hop into a new vehicle. Speaking with Joe Beardy, yes, picking up the win back in week number 2 out at the Brickyard circuit, and so you were able to break up the racing streak that was had there by RZM McQueen. He was going on 9 straight races dating back to November 24th. And then he would have had 9 straight races here in season 38 had it not been for that victory. So is that one that you kind of go, aha, no, boo-boo, I got one?
I think I'll be able to rub that one in for a while just because I can, And it's like we joke when we're here in the chat or whatnot, or when we're all talking, talking smack before it. And I always joke, Mike, well, maybe if I pick another track next season, I'll just keep picking Indy. I think we need more ovals, boys.
just ovals all day.
Yeah. I mean, with the wheel, like we've said before, the consistency is just way higher with being able to just stay smooth. So if I just keep picking ovals, I don't know, I might have some more chances at some wins. We'll see.
And, a surprise to me, maybe it's no surprise to you all if you guys are familiar with the guy, but not that he was right in your rearview mirror, but he was back behind you there, Toyo Sama. So maybe you'll have yet another competitor here heading into season 39.
I hope so. I think it's a cool story on how he was kind of brought in. I believe it was Sprizhouse that kind of met him in a public lobby and dragged him in here to come race with us. And I ended up doing a practice night with him, and yeah, we all got along great, and he ran well and was competitive, and I think it's personally great. I mean, we've all been in those public lobbies where it's, it can be a bit of a hack fest at a time, and, it's great when you can bring somebody else in here that, might not be the fastest or say they are really fast. I think it brings an even level of competitiveness from fast guys to slow guys that just want to just have clean, fun racing with everybody, just good camaraderie and good smack talking here in the Discord as well. So I think having a new member, to run with us and somebody that has a good race pace, I think it'll only be better for the whole league and FM4 in general.
Very good analysis there. Definitely, we love seeing the new drivers join into the FM4 series, but then, of course, those who are surprises. And Joe Beardy, you were one of those surprises a few seasons back when I saw some of your top finishes, and I'm like, okay, here we go. We've got somebody to look out for. That being said, carry out throughout the idea of an early models 911, you being on a racing wheel, does that scare you a little bit? Does the dynamic of a rear-mounted engined car kind of throw off things for a little bit for you on a racing wheel, or no?
Yes and no. I mean, it's a big thing with just adapting. I think when you're on a controller, because this is at least how I was when I was on the controller, was you can jump from car to car, and it can be similar because it's just thumbsticking. But when I'm on the wheel, I found like when I choose a car, I got to stick to the car. Like I've been basically driving the Ferrari for the last 6 weeks. Even if I jump into a public lobby, I'd jump into A-Class and just run the Ferrari, really. But same for the BMW last season. I'd only run that in a public lobby just to get familiarized with it. So I think if we go rear engine, I think it'd be something fun to learn. I haven't really driven a Porsche with it. So I think really it's just whatever we get, just kind of got to learn, overcome, and adapt, just like any other car for the season. Whatever it ends up being, I'm excited for it.
Awesome. Yeah, well, it's always kind of a hold my breath moment as we wait to see what the vehicle is going to be. And for those of you who are viewers and not necessarily participants and want to be kind of in the know as soon as it's announced, again, make sure you follow me on Twitter. And as soon as they have the vehicle announced for Season 39, I'll be posting that up over there. Joe Beardy, pleasure chatting with you here tonight. Any shout-outs that you'd like to throw out there tonight?
Honestly, really big shout-outs, I guess, would go out to Slow and to Modern. I mean, for putting this whole thing on. I think it's a great series, what they do. Slow works hard on it. I think he manages it very well. I mean, nothing to take against anything from the other series that do wonderful jobs, but I think Slow just does a very good job at managing it, making it very detailed. Same for Modern. I mean, keeping everybody, I don't want to say in line, but, respectful and making it very clear on what the series does. And the main thing is, it's a video game at the end of the day and have fun. That's really the big things.
Here.
Shout out to those guys that run it.
Definitely. Joe Beardy, well done here in Season 38. We'll see where you ultimately finish on the leaderboard. I know you entered week number 5 here in 5th. I suspect you'll be there, if not maybe a step higher. But we'll see you in about 4 weeks' time for Season 39.
Sounds great. Look forward to it.
Awesome. Well, there you go. And well-deserved kudos to the organizers, Slow Motion Fire, for heading things up. One of the longest-running Forza community leagues that you will find, and quite possibly one of the more put together in terms of the format and predictably on time. You get in here, you race for about an hour and 40, hour and 50 minutes, and that's your Tuesday night. And then you come back another week later and do the same thing for 5 straight weeks. And, of course, if you can't make all 5 weeks, no big deal. But that's the schedule. And then you go into an off season like we are about to do here, and you wipe the points clean and start all over again. So we'll see what happens. RZM McQueen, will he return for Season 39? That remains to be seen. What the car is going to be, what the tracks are going to be, all that and more, you're going to find it here on X Venture beginning, I think that's going to be March. I know So Motion Fire already told me the date. I believe that's March 16th. March 16th. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's March 9th. I don't know. Slow Motion Fire will update me there in the pit lane, I'm sure. Folks, if you want to watch the replay back, we will have that going here, the rerun, right after I wrap things up here with the closing statements. That way, if you were a driver, well, hang out with the other drivers and see what the racing action looked like from our perspective. A few little shout-outs for me here before we close out the stream is Dirt Kicking Fridays on Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It'll be my second episode, my second time playing Dirt Rally 2.0. So if you want to come laugh at me, I'm okay with that. You can point your finger and laugh. It's going to be all kinds of fun. Got underway with a championship, did poor at the onset, and then started to pick up a little bit of consistency, or at least getting a little bit more acclimated to the car, and we'll see. I got 2 more events in the first championship that I've ever participated in, and then we'll enter a second championship, and then who knows, maybe we'll do a rivals event or a time challenge against actual drivers to kind of close out that stream. Dirt Kicking Fridays this Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll have 2 more after that there on February 19th and the 26th. And then the final Saddle Up Sunday coming up this Sunday at 8 a.m. Eastern. Yes, that's early in the morning. You guys can watch all these broadcasts back on demand here on Twitch and then over on YouTube. Same name, EXEVENTURE. YouTube, there you go. Nightbot hitting you up with the link. It's going to be my final episode here of Red Dead Redemption 2, where we play more of the Stranger missions, which were a lot of fun this past Sunday. Even though the main story and the epilogue are complete, the Stranger missions are fun, and I know that they'll continue to be that way here for the final one. So come hang out with us on a Sunday, 4-hour broadcast, and then that will be the end of Red Dead Redemption 2. And that's because it's Crime Scene Sundays, beginning February 21st with L.A. Noire. Oh, that's going to be so much fun. And then the last thing I have to tout here is the X Venture Sub Marathon. I don't know what we're up to, maybe like 18 hours or so. SnowRunner, my first time playing SnowRunner. It's going to happen, a special broadcast here Saturday, March 6th. And as we get closer and I understand what the time commitment is going to be, then I'll establish the start time for that. But right now, it's somewhere between 15 and 20 hours straight of SnowRunner. I've not done a broadcast that long since the 24 Hours of Daytona with Tora a year ago back in February. So come out and hang out with me. Help me out. I don't know. Tell me what you know if you're a big SnowRunner gamer, and we're going to have some fun because that game, from what I have seen, just looks phenomenal. Lots and lots of fun. And, March 6th. That's when it's going to go down there on a Saturday. Okie doke, folks. We've gone a little bit long here, but I appreciate everybody's time. Oh, yeah, and by the way, here's what we got. Glory to our Stotska. That's going to be Papers, Please. Next Tuesday. Actually, the next 3 Tuesdays, and if we don't have to go a third Tuesday, then I'll bring in Car Mechanic Simulator. But Papers, Please, that's going to be fun. If you guys haven't seen that one, come join me for that. And that's another game you guys can help me out with because it's a memory game. You're like a port of entry person who's checking passports and all that stuff, and you've got to find the inconsistencies. It's going to be fun. Come join me for the next 3 Tuesdays right here on XVenture while the FM4 series is in its off season. Papers, Please. Fun stuff. I've been looking forward to bringing this one to the broadcast. Promise, it's not racing, but you guys will enjoy it. I'll try to make it as fun as possible. All right, folks, as always, stay happy, stay healthy in these times. Again, get on over to reddit.com/r/FM4 to participate in the next season. You'll want to if you're even the slightest bit interested, and I promise you, once you get done with it, you will have no regrets. No regrets. You're going to have a blast. We'll get that car posted up on Twitter as soon as it's announced and all the schedule and everything, and then I'll see you here in about 4 weeks for that one. But, yes, Fridays, Sundays, Tuesdays. Fridays, 6 p.m., Sundays, 8 a.m., Tuesdays, 8 p.m., right here on XVenture. Take care. Adios. Farewell. Goodbye.